a three-pointer. Carolina wins it. The Tar Heels win it.
The following is a presentation of the Tar Heels Sports Network.
The thing about ACC basketball is that the challenges just keep coming at you. Gosh, Carolina felt so good about its hard-earned road victory over Pittsburgh on Tuesday night. The Tar Heel reward, another road date, this time with Clemson. The Tigers, 11-2 overall, ranked number 16 in the country, have proven to be one of the best teams in the ACC to this point of the season, and will provide Carolina one of its stiffest tests so far. The ACC beat goes on this afternoon as Carolina faces another high-quality opponent on the road. The Tar Heel Sports Network's coverage of the 159th meeting between Carolina and Clemson starts right now.
15 on the shot clock. Tries to lob to Trimble. He climbs the ladder and throws it down. Cadeau puts his defender in the spin cycle and lays it up and over his head for two. Ingram between the circles to R.J. Davis for three. Knocked it home from the right wing. If you need a bucket, who else? Well, I thought he was going to slow it up to Trimble. Back to Baycott. Slow that up, baby. Two-handed dunk. Crossover, step back. That's an impossible shot. How'd he do it? Oh, drives it. Bounce past the Withers. Way up in the air for the flush. One-handed push pass to Baycott. He's going to try a corner. Three! Count it. Davis, long pass to Trimble in the corner. He'll try a triple. Why not? Everybody's knocking him home. Back to Davis. His three at the horn. Count it! Davis swishes it home at the buzzer.
The Tar Heels Sports Network is on the air with Carolina basketball.
This is Dave Nathan. Carolina's stretch of 3 consecutive road games continues this afternoon at Clemson. Jones Angel have the call of today's contest.
Dave, Carolina's defense has held its last 3 opponents to just 35% shooting, 28.5% from 3, and an average of 62 points. The Heels are going to need another similar effort today against one of the best offensive teams in the ACC, Clemson. Pete Chilcott's former All-ACC Tar Heel, member of 2 Carolina ACC championship teams, 91 Final Four team member, and heck, he threw in a world championship with the Houston Rockets when it was all said and done.
Wow. I mean, Jones, you're starting to make me sound good. I'm not sure you should believe all that hype. I'm excited to be here in Littlejohn. It's a little different Littlejohn than I remember. The court looks the same, but I think we're a different direction, and the roof seems higher. It looks intimidating because there's a lot of orange coming in here. This is a tough team. They're really good. They're experienced. They're talented. They got all the different things you want to have on a team, outside, inside. It's going to take a big effort today to get this win.
We've got all those storylines on the Reach Jewelers pregame show. Plus, Armando Baycott discusses what sets this year apart from the other 4 he's had with the Tar Heels. We'll bring you interviews with head coaches Hubert Davis and Brad Brownell. Pete Chilcutt and Adam Lucas answer your questions about the Tar Heels, and we'll check on scores from around the country, too. All of that and more is coming up as we count you down to tip-off between the Tar Heels and Tigers from Littlejohn Coliseum in Clemson. This is Carolina basketball from Learfield.
This is Carolina basketball on the Tar Heels Sports Network, and you're listening to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Carolina basketball is brought to you by Hunt Brothers Pizza, the official pizza of Carolina Athletics. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show.
Carolina got the new year off to a good start on Tuesday night with a win at Pittsburgh, a program that had given the Heels problems recently. Not only was it good to get the victory on the road, but from the perspective of Hubert Davis, it validated Carolina's potential to be among the best rebounding teams in the country. Jones, the Tar Heels were plus 10 on the boards against what was statistically the best rebounding team in the ACC.
Yeah, Dave, I heard, Coach Davis say in his press conference yesterday, and I'll talk to him about it here coming up in a little bit too. He said, he told the team after the game, he said, "Now you guys have messed up because you can show me that you can do it, and now it needs to happen every single game. And, Pete, we talked a ton before that game and during that game about the fact that, Carolina did not shoot particularly well in that contest. In fact, it was the lowest shooting percentage for the Tar Heels in a game this season. They shot just 36.5% for the game. And, of course, we remember they missed their first 10 shots, didn't score for the first 13 or until the 13:37 mark of the first half. But it was that toughness, the effort, the rebounding, the defense, all of those things are really what allowed Carolina to win that game. And I do think Carolina's offense has proven to be more consistent than what you saw in the Pitt game, and Pitt's a good defensive team. If you can carry over some of those other things that Carolina has been doing better and better as this year has moved on, if they can continue to do those things with what we know they can do offensively, that's a pretty exciting thought about where Carolina could go and what it could be.
It really is. I would like to say that there's no way we'll win that game, despite whatever we did on offense against Pitt, if we didn't have that rebounding effort. The number that really stands out was not only the offensive rebounds, but they also had offensive rebounds, but the points off of those rebounds for us was hugely in our favor, and I think that was extremely important. Now, going forward, it can't be a flash in the pan. It can't be, that was just one game. It's a mentality, and Coach Davis has been talking about that, and I think we finally saw the players. I'm not saying they haven't been buying into it, but we saw some physical play. I mean, Pittsburgh is very physical on those rebounds, and we had guys that were undersized fighting for those rebounds on the defensive end. And that's the kind of thing it's going to take day in, day out in every game to be consistent. And as you said, if we can figure out the rebounding and get more consistent, the offense is kind of a proven quantity. Even if we're not shooting well, we do enough things to do well on offense. But if we can bring some of those things together, there's a huge sky on our potential.
And, Dave, worth noting, we've talked so much about that stretch from the UConn game to the Oklahoma game when Carolina was out-rebounded in those three games. The Kentucky game was sandwiched in between, 126-99. Last two games, now one of those was Charleston Southern, who Carolina was obviously very just more talented than. But Carolina's out-rebounded Charleston Southern and Pittsburgh now 97-66. So Carolina had almost as many rebounds in those two games, Charleston Southern and Pitt, as they did in the previous three games combined. And so that'll be important today as well. Clemson's a good physical team. We'll talk about them in a bit, but certainly an encouraging step on Tuesday night against Pitt.
And on the note of physicality, it's going to have to be a case of having your best players on the floor today for Carolina, and specifically a player like Elliot Cadeau. It's played hard but fought a little bit of foul trouble early on in his career. Carolina has to have him on the floor more so today than they did against Pittsburgh midweek.
Yeah, Cadeau has fouled out twice so far this season, and he has been called for 30 personal fouls this year. That is the most on the Tar Heel team, which, Pete, is unusual for a guard. Normally you would expect, Baycott or Ingram maybe to be the one who has the most fouls. So to have that be your primary or one of your primary ball handlers is a little bit unique. Now, of course, Elliot Cadeau is a freshman and a guy who reclassified, so he's getting used to the college game. But that is, as Dave noted, certainly something that Carolina would like to see improve, because you want to have that option. The option of having Elliot Cadeau on the floor is one that the Tar Heels want, obviously. He's starting. He's playing a lot of minutes. So he's got to continue to grow. And if I'm not mistaken, he fouled a three-point shooter in the Pitt game, which is, again, something that has gotten a little better as this year's gone on, but something that the Tar Heels want to continue to improve on.
Yeah, 100%. It is a challenge no matter what position you play when you come into this game and you get to play against some of these great athletes and players who are so good offensively these days. That takes a little time, no matter who you are coming in, especially when you're getting some time in important parts of the game. Sometimes teams will target you and go at you because you are a freshman. The thing that we really want to be careful of with him is not letting that affect how he plays on the court. And I don't think I've seen on that on his side where he's kind of more tentative on defense. He's pretty aggressive, and he's getting some of those calls. I think the calls we want to worry about are the ones like you mentioned, like foul on the three-pointer or maybe some fouls in the backcourt. I'd like him to stay aggressive. He's going to be a player for us that's going to be hugely important down the stretch. And all this stuff we're going through now with the fouls is something he'll get through, and he'll be a better player because of it.
And, Dave, of course, one of those fouls the other night specifically was that play where he was diving for a loose ball, which was a real head-scratcher of a call. And Hubert Davis has been pretty clear with Elliott and pretty clear that, those are the type of plays he wants to see. He wants to see Elliott Cadeau and other guys going after loose basketballs like that. So a little bit of a unique scenario, at least in that one particular game with one of those foul calls.
Elliott Cadeau and the rest of the Tar Heels taking on Clemson this afternoon. We'll break down the Tigers when we come back after this. You're listening to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show from Learfield. Tar Heel fans, Food Line is the proud sponsor of the Score to Give More program. For each free throw the Tar Heels make in today's game, Food Line Feeds will donate 100 meals to feed our neighbors here in the Triangle. This season, a total of 263 free throws have been made. That's a current total of 26,300 meals donated to help our neighbors in need. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. The Tar Heels are at Clemson, a team that enters today's game at 11-2 overall and 1-1 in league play. Brad Brownell's Tigers have beaten quality teams on the road this year like Alabama and Pittsburgh. The Tigers have wins over South Carolina and TCU, and oh, by the way, they can score, averaging better than 82 points per game, which Jones is good for fourth best in the conference in that category.
Absolutely. And, Dave, before we talk about that, just want to say thank you to Clemson, and I put something out on social media about this as well. When we arrived here to our broadcast location, Ben Winterroud, who is the SID for Clemson's men's basketball program, had left some flowers here at our broadcast location, and they have, everybody has a little nameplate where you go and sit down, and it'll say, Tar Heel Sports Network or something like that from where you're supposed to sit, and they had left one here that said, in loving memory of Eric Montross, and I believe it said husband, father, son, Tar Heel. So just an incredibly kind gesture from Clemson, and Ben was the one who spurred that. So thank you, Ben. Thank you, Clemson, for your kind gesture this afternoon. It meant a lot to us, certainly. Now the Clemson basketball team is very good, Dave. You're right. They're experienced, and they can really put the ball in the basket. And Pete, I feel like Syracuse transfer Joe Girard has really made such a big difference for this Clemson team this year. There are a lot of familiar names. If you've been an ACC fan over the last several years, Chase Hunter and Ian Shefflin and, of course, P.J. Hall, all these are great players. But Girard, who is another familiar name, scored more than 1,600 points at Syracuse, seems to have really changed this team. He's opened them up offensively, and he's shooting really well, better than 45% from three. He's great at the free throw line, so he gives you that guy at the end of the game that can handle the ball that you feel good about if you're protecting a lead. And he has really, in my opinion, made this a much more dangerous Clemson team to go against. It. They can really put the ball in the basket a lot of different ways.
No doubt. I was doing some of the research. When you're working with the team, you kind of focus on that team. So I don't know that I remembered he had transferred until I started doing some research, and I was like, oh, that guy from Syracuse, he was deadly. He seemed like he always, and I was trying to say in the earlier on that he is not only a shooter, he's a scorer. He can hit the open three, but he's coming off screens, and as Coach Davis was saying, he's getting contested shots, and he's hitting those. He is a difference maker for this team. They already had some pretty solid presence down low in the front court with P.J. Hall and Shefflin. But when you throw in now an experienced guard that can score at all the different levels, it makes it very difficult to defend this team, and somebody you have to plan for.
And, Dave, they do have some good ability down low as well. I mean, P.J. Hall is, preseason first-team all-conference, and he's going to challenge for All-American. In fact, if you had to pick ACC Player of the Year right now, I think R.J. Davis and P.J. Hall would probably be the two guys that would get the most votes. He has played terrifically. He leads Clemson in points, steals, blocks. He's second in rebounding behind only Shefflin, who is a terrific rebounder at nearly 10 per game. And so that they really do have a quality inside-out attack that they can bring to you. And so I mentioned those good defensive numbers for Carolina when we started the broadcast. They've held the last three opponents 35% shooting, 28.5% from three. They will need that kind of defensive effort today.
Yeah, getting back to offense real quick, this game has the top two scoring leaders in the ACC on the floor. R.J. Davis leading the way for Carolina, and then Hall, who's second in the conference at just over 20 per game. And, guys, just before we go to our next break, a quick word on Brad Brownell, because this story, I think, is a good one. He's not been to a Final Four or won an ACC title, but he's been at the helm for 14 years, and in that time, Clemson's got a consistent identity. They've got good development of players, and postseason play has now become more the norm than the exception for a program that's always struggling in the shadow of the football program.
Yeah, I think it's credit to Clemson for having patience as well with Brad Brownell, and not that he wasn't a good coach when he arrived, but it hasn't always been easy for the Tigers, and they haven't always been one of the top half of the league type of teams, but that's where they are right now. In fact, I think, Dave, if you had to say the four best teams right now in the league, I think Clemson's in that group of four. I think Tar Heels are as well. And so he's done a really good job. And they kind of like the Tar Heels, Pete, to me, and I know we got to be fast, to me, one of their biggest strengths is their experience. They've got a lot of guys who played a lot of basketball, had success. These are two of the older teams in the league that'll go at it today.
No doubt. And that's the kind of team you kind of fear, because they've been there. They've been through some tested battles. And when you have a coach that's been around so long, what they tend to do is they start to establish an identity. And that's the kind of thing that Clemson has now. They got proven toughness, a pretty good defensive team year in, year out. So it's going to be a challenge against an experienced team at home.
Carolina and Clemson on the way at noon, on the way after a quick break. Pete will stick around. Adam Lucas will join us. They'll answer some of your Carolina questions. And Jones speaks with Coach Davis inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. That's after this from Learfield. Show is brought to you by Reed's Jewelers. The official Reed's Jewelers tip-off time is 12:01. Reed's Jewelers, your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. That's Reed's Jewelers, trusted with life's moments. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers or Reeds.com. Time for Pete Chilcutt and Adam Lucas to answer some of your Carolina questions. And first one up for Pete comes from Ashley Alexander. Pete, we danced around this a little earlier today as you make your triumphant return to Littlejohn Coliseum. So what sticks out to you about the venue and maybe some memories of when you played?
What sticks out to me is it seems very fan-friendly. It seems like there's a lot of students in the lower level. I'm a big fan of having that kind of environment where we can get loud, and if I'm the home crowd, loud and in the ears of the opponent. I remember playing back here during my heyday, which was never, but back in the late 80s and early 90s when it was just loud in here. And all the orange and the fans, they were probably never top tier, but they were always really good teams here. And you throw in that home court advantage. We lost a couple here, if I don't remember correctly. So it's any environment with a really good, talented team, you throw in the home court, it makes it a lot more challenging. And that's my memory of Littlejohn.
All right, next question, and Adam, this might be Coach Davis's pseudonym here, Marshall Wright, who wants to know, is Carolina's recent rebounding improvement sustainable?
I think it probably isn't. I know Jones talked about this a little bit earlier. You've gotten really good work from Harrison Ingram on the boards here the last couple games. I mean, look, Carolina's going to out-rebound Charleston Southern, but I think to do it against Pitt is a little more encouraging. Going to have to be even better today against Clemson because the Tigers really are good at keeping opponents off the offensive glass. I think the Tar Heels need to do that in order to have good success offensively. Pete, about Littlejohn, now when you played here, the students were on the court behind the basket, and that one guy in the overalls was here for like 14 years.
Yeah.
Were they? Did they ever get in the way or have any commentary for Chili P?
I'm pretty sure he said some inappropriate things to me, some probably about my my abilities or anything he could have said. Again, the thing that I like as a competitor, I actually enjoyed when they're down there and they're super loud, like NC State or Duke used to be. It is extremely challenging, but as a competitor, it's kind of fun to be in that environment.
You know what else is kind of fun, Pete? 14 years in the student section. That's unrivaled. Guys, Thanks a lot. We'll hear more from Adam with Coach Brownell a little bit later on. Right now, We're going to check in with Jones, who is joined by Coach Davis inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. The smart choice in tires, and for a dealer near you, just go to ContinentalTire.com.
Second game of this difficult road trip for Carolina comes this afternoon in Clemson against the Tigers. I'm with the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis. We are inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. Coach, before we get to today, let's look back to Tuesday night. What an impressive performance and a tough performance from your team, one that seemed like really made you pleased when it was all said and done.
It was. I was really proud of the group because in order to win in the conference, a true road game, our first really true road game, and against a Pittsburgh team that, you know, we've struggled against over the last couple of years, and they're always tough-minded, very good. You know, they were the best rebounding team in the conference. I just thought our toughness was really good that night. You know, one of the things that I said is we have to win the battle in the trenches. That's the box outs, the rebounds, the loose balls, first to the floor. I thought we did that. I thought defensively we did a really good job on Henson, who was one of the better players in the country. We out-rebounded them by 10. We got 16 offensive rebounds. I even told them at practice, I said, you guys ruined it. Now you showed me what you can do. So now this is something that I'm going to expect every day.
One of the hard parts about the ACC is the fact that you had this great win on Tuesday, and now it's coming right back at you again today against Clemson. How do you convey that message? And I know you have an older team, but how do you convey that message to your guys that it is a consistent thing that has to happen?
Well, it is. I mean, that's something that we talk about, but I really believe our non-conference schedule has really helped us and set us up for our conference play. I mean, the level of teams that we played in non-conference, the places that we played, the different styles, I think it gave us a great example of what you have to bring to the table every night. And so having to play Pitt and then go on the road against Clemson, that's something, maybe not a true road game, but in terms of the level of competition and a different style, that's something that we've done early in the season thus far.
There was so much talk these last couple of years about your bench and your depth, and it seems like your bench and your depth is a real strength for this team this year. What has allowed this group to be able to be 8, 9, 10 deep of guys that are effective and can come in and help you?
It's all on them. It's their preparation, it's the way that they have practiced and the way that they have played. You can talk about, the impact that, Jay Wash and Jay Witt and Seth have had coming off the bench, but Pack started off the year starting and he's coming off the bench. He gives us tremendous help coming off the wing. Zayden comes off the bench and he played double-figure minutes against Oklahoma, and I really feel like he was a huge reason why we won the game because of his rebounding and his just intensity. And so just, all the credit goes to the players, the way that they have put themselves in a position to help out and play, and when their number is called, they're ready to go.
What has impressed you as you've prepared for this game against the Tigers?
For me, it's just another typical Clemson team. They're extremely well coached. Coach Brunell is one of the better coaches in the country, and his teams are always solid defensively, very physical. And when you have a guy like PJ Hall, who is a big that can score around the basket, can shoot threes and rebound the basketball, you're going to be in pretty good shape, and it helps out a lot to have somebody that can shoot like Joe Girard. And so, from an offensive standpoint, they can score consistently in the paint, but they also can shoot the ball from three. I think they're close to number one or at the top of the list in terms of made threes per game, almost 9, a little bit over 9 threes a game. So they can score many different ways, and they're a good defensive team. So it'll be a good test against us, but we're excited about going up there and competing.
Last thing, Coach, this feels like it could be another physical game. These games against Clemson normally are.
I don't know if there's a game that's not physical, but you're right. Clemson is, just physicality in terms of rebounding and defense. For us, from an offensive standpoint, it's so important for us to set up our man to create space, to catch the ball where we want to, set screens, because they are physical. And but again, the teams and the level of competition that we played in preseason, we're not going to see anything that we hadn't seen before. And so I feel very good about our opportunity to play against a really good Clemson team.
Big Saturday in the ACC, Carolina on the road to see Clemson. Coach, as always, thank you for your time and best of luck.
All right, thanks a lot, Jones. Appreciate it.
A big Saturday indeed, as we remind you to take your Tar Heels tailgate to the next level with a new Honda. See your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today. Jones, my key to the game is balance. The Tar Heels have proven they can get as many as 6 guys into double figures. Should be a high-scoring game. The Tar Heels have to put it in the hole.
Pete, I'm going individual defense. Clemson stresses you defensively. Each individual Carolina defender has got to do his job.
I'm going to hit some shots the first 10 minutes, come out with a good effort. We can't fall behind like we did against Pitt.
Those are our keys to the game as Carolina gets ready to play Clemson in the second of 3 consecutive ACC road games. Jones and Pete will have the play-by-play for you when we come back after this from Learfield.
Old school ACC rivalry, Carolina and Clemson. This has been a rivalry that has really been one-sided through the years. Carolina 135 wins and just 23 losses to the Tigers all time. But these are two really good teams. Carolina ranked number 8 in the country in the AP poll, number 9 in the coaches poll. Clemson ranked number 16 in both AP and coaches polls. Thanks for being with us from Littlejohn Coliseum tonight. Again, I'm Jones Angel, along with former Tar Heel All-ACC performer Pete Chilcutt. Excited to be bringing you Carolina and Clemson. Let's get to the starting lineups presented by Coors Light. Coors Light made to chill, an official beer of the Tar Heels. We'll start off with the Tigers. They're 11-2 overall, 1-1 in conference play. Actually suffered their first loss in ACC action earlier this week with a 95-82 defeat at the hands of Miami, a game in which Miami shot 75% in the second half. Brad Brownell is the head coach of the Tigers, 252 wins to 179 losses in his decade plus with Clemson. In the backcourt, we'll start with Syracuse transfer Joe Girard, 6'2 graduate student from Glen Falls, New York, had more than 1,600 points with the Orange and having a great year in a different Orange, the Clemson Orange, averaging nearly 16 points, 4 assists, 3.5 rebounds per game, shooting 45% from 3. Chase Hunter, 6'4.5", redshirt senior from Atlanta, 11.5 points, 3.5 assists for Hunter. Up front, Chauncey Wiggins, 6'10.5", sophomore from Grayson, Georgia, 8 points per game, but his last 7 games, that average bumps up to better than 12. Ian Shefflin, 6'8", junior from Loganville, Georgia, 9 or more rebounds in 9 of his last 10 games. He's second in the ACC at nearly 10 rebounds per contest on average. And P.J. Hall, 6'10.5", senior, Spartanburg at South Carolina, Clemson's leader in points and second in the ACC with 20.2 points per game. He is the leading shot blocker in the ACC at better than 2 per contest. Carolina comes in at 10-3 overall, 2-0 in conference action. Hubert Davis in his third year leading the Heels, 59 wins, 26 losses for Coach Davis in his 2+ seasons. And the Heels sticking with their starting 5 of Elliot Cadeau, the rookie from West Orange, New Jersey, 7 of 11 from the field in his last 2 games. R.J. Davis, the ACC's leading scorer, at better than 21 points per game. The senior is from White Plains, New York. Also for Carolina, Notre Dame transfer Cormac Ryan, the graduate student originally from New York, just 2 for 10 from 3 since that 4 of 7 performance against Kentucky a couple weeks ago. Harrison Ingram, been battling a right hand and wrist problem. That's getting better. 6'7" junior from Dallas is still averaging 13.5 points, 7 rebounds per game, coming off a career-high 15 rebounds in the victory over Pitt. And Armando Bacot, the 6'11" graduate student from Richmond, Virginia, averaging 15 points in an ACC best, 11 rebounds per game. He is also at nearly 2 blocks per game. That's tied for 5th in the conference. We'll get to our Duncan uniform report after we break 10 seconds. Station ID down the lines on the Tar Heel Sports Network. Time to get back to buzzer beaters, blocks. Well, we'll tell you that afterwards because Ron Groover has already put the ball in the air, and P.J. Hall and Armando Bacot make contact simultaneously. Hall, though, able to slap it into the backcourt. It will belong to Clemson first. We'll set the officials and the uniforms for you in just a moment. But right now, Wiggins pulls up, has it stripped away, but it falls into the hands of Hall. And then a foul called on Cadeau, I believe, for digging down. It is on Cadeau. Yeah. As Hall was going one-on-one with Bacot, Cadeau tried to dig down and help and picked up the foul. So we talked about Cadeau's foul issues. He's fouled out twice this year, has more fouls than any other player on Carolina's roster, and he fouls P.J. Hall just 16 seconds into the game. So Hall's going to go to the line for 2 shots. That Duncan uniform report that we were trying to tell you about, brought to you by Duncan. Welcome back, Tar Heel fans. America runs on Duncan as Hall's first free throw is good. Carolina wearing the road Carolina blues with white numbers, letters, and trim. Argyle down the side of the jerseys and shorts. Clemson in the home white with bright orange numbers, letters, and trim. Today, Ron Groover, Tony Henderson, Lamar Simpson are the 3 officials calling the action, and it's 2-0 as Hall, nearly an 80% free throw shooter, makes both after the foul on Cadeau. Here comes Carolina the other way. Heels going right to left as we see it here in Littlejohn. Cadeau loops a pass right of the lane to R.J. Davis. Catch and shoot jumper, nothing but net on the right baseline. All in one motion, Pete.
Yeah, we talked about Elliott staying out of foul trouble on the very first play. Got to be a little smarter on that one.
2-2 the score. Ball goes down low. Harrison Ingram intercepts. The pass from Hall to Shefflin was too tall. Ingram intercepted it on the back end. Ingram going all the way down the floor on his own dribble. Now backs up into the left corner. Tries to drive on Shefflin and is going to get called for the charge. So Ingram picked up the turnover by Clemson on one side. Never passed it as he drove up the floor and then gets called for the charge, running into the chest of Shefflin on the left baseline. So already 2 fouls on Carolina, 1 on Cadeau and 1 on Ingram, and we still haven't played a full minute here in this 2-2 ball game. Gerard trying to back in, right of the lane against Davis, has to send it out to Hall, now to Wiggins. Pump fake against Ryan, sends it out to Hall on the left wing. Shot clock down to 10 as Gerard has it again in the big Tiger ball logo in the center jump circle. Driving against Davis. Pump fake gets Davis in the air. Gerard's jumper from about 10 won't go, though. Rebound pulled down off the back iron by Cormac Ryan. Ryan gets it down to Bacot really deep. He draws a foul, gets the bucket, and he'll have a chance for 3.
I love it. Getting down there fast, posting up hard. That's what you got to do early on in the game.
Fouls on Hall, his first, and Bacot will have a chance to give Carolina a 3-point advantage. Hall has, talking about Cadeau fouling out twice, Hall has fouled out twice this year for Clemson. He has 39 personal fouls, by far the most on Clemson's team.
Yeah, it's going to be huge if we can get him in foul trouble.
Bacot's free throw, short, looked short out of the hand. He had been a perfect 6 of 6 on Tuesday night against Pittsburgh and had been shooting well as of late, 80% on the season, but that one came up shy. So it's 4-2. Clemson did have the rebound, but then they turn it over. R.J. Davis able to take the errant pass away in the middle of the paint. Comes up the floor, gets it to Bacot again, double team there, to a cutting Ingram, finds Ryan in the corner for a wide open triple. Great ball movement, results in the 3.
That was a beautiful play by everyone involved. That was awesome.
7-2, Carolina fired up. They're all bent over, ready defensively. Ryan, Ingram, Davis all clapping their hands together as Wiggins bangs Ryan off of him and hits the mid-range left of the lane. Boy, Wiggins is big now, 6'10 and a half. And he's a skilled player and coming into his own, playing very well in the last several games. Drive right of the lane by Cadeau, and he banks it home for 2.
You get the idea. When he wants to drive, he can get to the hole every time.
9-4, Carolina with the 5-point lead, 17:33 to go as Chase Hunter gets by Cadeau on the other side and lays it in. Dave talked about this in the pregame. There might be a lot of points scored today, and already both teams have put a fair amount on the scoreboard. 9-6, Tar Heels with the lead here, 17-17 to go in the first half. R.J. Davis deep on the left sideline. Down low to Bacot, through a double team, can't score, fights his way to the rebound, and then he is fouled.
Nice.
I mean, he was between Shefflin and Hall, and Bacot just would not be denied.
Very aggressive right there, yeah.
Shefflin, I believe, is the man who's going to get called for the foul. It's his first and second on the Tigers. So Hall and Shefflin each with an early foul. Inbounds goes to Bacot. He'll flip it right back to the inbounder, Cadeau, on the right sideline. To Ryan. He hit a 3 earlier. That one's off the back iron. But Bacot another rebound. He'll send it in the corner to Ingram. Another chance for 3. That one's way short. It was an air ball as now there's a tie-up on the rebound. Cormac Ryan will earn the possession on the arrow for Carolina. That three from Ingram, who's been a good three-point shooter this year, 43%. Right when he shot it, it was nowhere in the neighborhood of the rim.
Shut the door. There's some wind in here.
Boz Lida is going to check in, a transfer from UNCG, and Brad Brownell taking the opportunity to give P.J. Hall a stern talking to as he checks out. Coach Brownell said publicly he was not happy with Hall's physicality in their loss to Miami. As now Ingram has it for Carolina, drives, kicks to Ryan. Ryan into the paint, floater from the ACC logo is good. Cormac Ryan has 5, and Carolina's up 5, 11-6.
Great drive off the pass right there.
We'll see when Hall returns what kind of fire he has, because he was called out by Coach Brownell. Gerard trying to back in against R.J. Davis, sends it out, ends up to Chase Hunter. He'll leave it for the substitute Lida, and the big man misses the three from straight on. Lida had only taken and made 1 3 this year. Boy, Cadeau, some really nice dribbling. Gets by Hunter, kicks it out to Ingram. Ingram, hard drive, comes up way short on the runner. And it belongs to Clemson on the rebound. So Ingram, after a tough shooting night the other night, has struggled here early in this one. Gerard is going to draw the second foul on Cadeau as he tried to work past him, got the corner turned just a bit on the right side, and then picked up the second foul on Cadeau as he elevated to shoot. So Gerard, an excellent free throw shooter, will have 2 shots, and Cadeau will have 2 fouls. When we come back, 11-6. Carolina's up 5, but not everything's rosy with Cadeau with 2 personals, and Gerard going to the line. Seth Trimble will check in for Carolina. 16 minutes even to go in the first half. Carolina the early advantage, 11-6 over Clemson from Learfield. 4 minutes in, Tar Heels 11, Tigers 6. A lot to talk about after we tell you that Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina is the official health insurance partner of Carolina Athletics and believes an inclusive community is a healthy community. Here for the Tar Heels, here for all. Pete, a lot to like here early. Carolina's out-rebounding Clemson very early, of course, 5-2. They forced a couple of turnovers early on, but the fouls have been a bit of an issue. Already 3 on Carolina, 2 on Cadeau. Kind of a silly offensive foul on Ingram, so got to clean that up here for the Heels.
Yeah, no doubt. We got a little bit into that Pittsburgh game where they weren't calling anything, and now it seems like we're reaching a little bit. We got to be smart. We talked about Elliott in the pregame. He has to be smarter on some of those plays. We need him on the court.
Tar Heels have made some subs. Told you Trimble came in for Cadeau. Also, Jalen Washington has entered the game for Ingram. Now, we mentioned Ingram's hand. You know, he injured that hand wrist. It had been taped since the Kentucky game, and he has not shot as well since then. He was 2 of 14, of course, in that last game against Pitt. Now, we made a bunch of other winning plays, but did not shoot well. And he's 0 of 2 today, and neither of his shots have been particularly close. An air ball on a corner 3, and then came up way short on a forced runner. So, as Gerard, a rare miss. I was about to tell you, Gerard, a 92% shooter at the line. He's second best in the ACC. He'd been 35 of 38 this year, so I have to imagine this one's going in, and it is. So he goes 1 of 2. A rare miss for him, and it's 11-7. But we'll keep an eye on Ingram as he's just getting a breather right now with Washington coming in. So the Heels do have Washington and Baycott out there together. Dylan Hunter as Baycott finds a cutting R.J. Davis in the middle of the paint for the layup.
No, it's not, nice cut right there. I'd like to see this big lineup. I'm a fan of it, so I'd like to see how it plans out today.
I was going to say Dylan Hunter had checked in for Clemson, but Carolina was doing such good things offensively, I didn't get a chance to finish telling you. 13-7 as Gerard against the tough defense of Trimble. Trimble was right in his face, and Gerard still hits the left elbow jumper to make it 13-9. Carolina's lead is 4. Washington against Shefflin, high post. Back to the basket, dribbles to the elbow, flips it out to Davis to reset the offense. Davis turns the corner, elevates, and is off the back iron on the jump shot. Rebound is fought for it, squirts out of bounds. Last touch by the Tar Heels. Jalen Washington tied up Boz Lida on the rebound, but before the whistle was blown for a jump ball, the ball popped out of there and went out of bounds, and it was deemed off Carolina. R.J. Godfrey checking in for Clemson, a 6'8 sophomore from Sewanee, Georgia. He is replacing Shefflin. Jalen Withers comes to the table for Carolina. He'll have to wait till the next dead ball before he enters for the first time. Hunter, that's Dylan Hunter, brother of Chase Hunter, gets it to Gottfried, right back to Dylan Hunter. Drives against Cormac Ryan, gets to the rim, but his shot's blocked by Ryan, and then the rebound picked out of the air by Jalen Washington. Carolina the other way with a 4-point lead. R.J. Davis to a trailing Trimble to Washington up top. Wanted to go to Baycott, but he is getting wrestled with in the post by Gottfried. Couldn't get open. Now the Heels get it to him. Baycott throws his body into the defender, but can't finish on the up and under. Boy, there was a lot of contact on that. Really, that whole sequence.
Yeah, very physical down there.
With no whistle either way. Still 13-9, Carolina on top. Dylan Hunter between the circles in the front court for Clemson. Couple of left-handed dribbles, goes between the legs, drifts to the right wing. Now to the big man Lida up top. Over to Chase Hunter. His three won't go. Baycott with the rebound. To R.J. Davis. Davis banging his way forward. Finds Ryan in the corner for three. No good. Jalen Washington slung to the ground by Lida. And Lida gets the rebound. Clemson the other way. Girard can't get the transition three and then has his layup attempt erased by Baycott, spiking it into the ground and out of bounds.
Yeah, I love the pace. The pace right now is really good for us. Getting back on defense well and pushing the ball on offense looks really good. Got to get a little bit better on that conversion.
Lida out, Hall back in. Also, Josh Beadle has checked in. He'll replace Girard. Withers checked in and Wojcik checked in for Carolina. So that five on the floor for Carolina. Davis, Trimble, Wojcik, Withers, Washington. There have been a lot of subs from both teams here early in this game, freely going to the bench here early on a Saturday with the Tar Heels up 13-9 on what will be a busy Saturday of ACC action. Carolina comes in 2-0, Clemson 1-1. Hall can shoot the three, does so, but misses off the back iron. Seth Trimble rips the rebound away from Jalen Withers. It was going to belong to the Heels either way. Trimble loses his dribble a bit as he comes front side, able to recover, passes middle of the floor to Withers, now left side to Wojcik. Back to Trimble. Thought about the three straight on. Instead, he's going to drive into the purple paint, spin, turn, no good. Wojcik saves the rebound, but just kind of threw it into nobody, and eventually Clemson picks up the loose ball. Still 13-9. Tar Heels have gone a little cold here offensively. In fact, both teams struggling shooting right now. 13:05 to go first half. Withers loses his man Gottfried in the post. Gottfried spun by him to lay it in. That was the first field goal after four straight misses for Clemson. Tar Heels have missed four in a row, haven't scored in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Jalen Washington will try and change that with a three. It's short, and the rebound pulled down at the free throw line by Beadle. Clemson down two and on the run. Beadle all the way to the rim, blocked by Jalen Washington. Into the hands of R.J. Davis. Carolina the other way. Wojcik to the cup, draws contact, no whistle. Withers, though, there to clean it up and scoop it home.
Yeah, when you push the ball that fast, it creates mismatches on the boards. That was a good follow by Jalen.
Carolina shooting 7 of 17, and that's after making their first four shots. So just 3 of 13 since, but they lead it 15-11 with 12:17 to go in the first half. Chase Hunter got free from Trimble for a moment, drives in against Washington, and will score and draw the foul. Trimble got caught up behind a screen, and by the time he recovered, Hunter was heading the other way. And Washington, trying to help, picks up the personal. Hunter will have a chance for the three-point play. First foul on Washington, and Carolina leads at 15-13 with a free throw on the way for the Tigers. Baycott coming in, Washington going out. Hunter, Chase Hunter, 87% free throw shooter, and knocks it home. So he has 5 of Clemson's 14 points, and Tigers within 1. Carolina, Pete, just one of his last 7 offensively.
Yeah, the rhythm is not there right now. We got a little different lineup than we've seen before. These who we got on the court. Interesting to see if they go down low.
R.J. Davis instead will try a tough jumper, no good. Jalen Withers tips the rebound. Wojcik dives for it. Nobody ever gets to it, though, as it ends up into the sideline out of bounds. So Carolina, as this game will go to the 12-minute timeout, has Davis, Trimble, Wojcik, Withers, and Baycott. Those are the 5 leaving the floor to go to the timeout. We'll see if the Heels make any subs or come back out. We've said both teams have freely substituted, which have resulted in some odd combinations at times. Tar Heels just one of their last 8 from the floor. And because of that, Clemson's back within 1. 15-14 the score, and even 12 minutes to go in the first half in Littlejohn from Learfield.
We're on the road with Honda dealers of the Carolinas. If you're a Tar Heel fan, don't just cheer for the best, drive the best. Drive a Honda. Better hurry, they're going fast. See your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today.
15-14, Carolina, 12 minutes to go first half. Not only was that ball out of bounds off the Tar Heels, in fact, they called a foul on Paxton Wojcik right before that timeout. Wojcik dove for the loose ball, wiped out a Tiger when he did so. And so Wojcik was called for the foul, his first, 5th on Carolina. Basketball camps are back. Young men who will be in 6th or 7th grade during the 24-25 school year can apply for a scholarship through their local electric cooperative to attend the Carolina Basketball School this June. Apply online at ncelectriccooperatives.com/sportscamps. North Carolina's electric cooperative is building a brighter future for people and communities across the Tar Heel state. Pete, Carolina 5 offensive rebounds, but only 4 second chance points. Carolina's been active, but right now just unable to get the ball in the basket.
Yeah, active. I don't see a rhythm out there. I'm not sure I can figure out what we're really trying to do. I think we established down low early, but we've gotten away from that a little bit. Seems like we're kind of just taking a few bad shots, not converting those rebounds like you mentioned. We'll be fine. Settle in a little bit, get a little bit more of identity back as far as getting it downstairs to Armando for some post moves.
Same 5 back on the floor. That's Davis, Trimble, Wojcik, Withers, Baycott. Cormac Ryan is Carolina's leading scorer with 5. R.J. Davis has 4, 2 for Cadeau, Baycott, and Withers. 5 for Chase Hunter to pace the Tigers. 3 points for Joseph Girard. 15-14, Clemson can take just its second lead of the game. They led 2-0. Carolina's led ever since. But Clemson has a chance here. Get it down low to Shefflin on a nice play, and Baycott able to score, or Baycott unable to stop him from scoring, as Shefflin gives Clemson the 16-15 lead. Tigers dribbled it to the free throw line, got it to Shefflin in great scoring position. Ball tipped away on a dribble handoff, out of bounds by Beadle. Carolina will have it with 19 on the shot clock. Hubert Davis pacing off the Tar Heel bench, walked all the way out to the timeline to say something to R.J. Davis. Davis well out on the left side of the floor. One-handed pass to the right side to Withers. Back to Davis. He'll loop it back to Withers. In the corner it goes to Trimble. Now down low to Baycott. Spins baseline and able to flip it over the front of the iron for 2.
Strong move.
Baycott able to get by R.J. Godfrey. Godfrey's 6'8", but just 228 down there. So Godfrey has Carolina lost Shefflin again.
Oh, whoa.
And Shefflin tried to dunk it, which did not go in. And a foul was called on Jalen Withers for pushing Shefflin in the back. The dunk popped up in the air. Shefflin hung on the rim, and it did go through as he hung on the rim, but that won't count. And Withers just a reach-out shove there once Shefflin had gotten past him. That's an easy call. As on back-to-back plays, Carolina's just lost Shefflin cutting to the hoop on the left side. First free throw good by Shefflin. And Carolina's going to take the opportunity to sub as Withers and Trimble will go out. Ryan and Ingram return. So the Heels now, as Withers is going to go to the locker room area by himself. Carolina has Davis, Wojcik, Ryan, Ingram, and Baycott. Both free throws good. Clemson has already shot 7 free throws. Carolina has not shot 1. Tigers on top 18-17. Tar Heels have taken 1. Baycott missed it. So the Heels are 0 for 1. Clemson, meanwhile, has made 6 of his tries as there's a foul on the Tigers on Girard as he was bodying up Wojcik as he tried to drive on the baseline. Clemson 6 of 7 at the free throw line. Carolina 0 for 1. Another sub. This one's for Clemson. Chase Hunter, fifth-year senior from Atlanta who has 5 points, will return. And I believe it is Beadle sitting down. So the foul on Clemson, just the third on the Tigers. So Carolina will be inbounding, and they have to do so all the way into the backcourt. Ryan pushes a chest pass where Wojcik runs it down. 18-17, Clemson up a point, Carolina with the ball. R.J. Davis well out. Gets the screen from Baycott to get to the right wing. A switch has the larger Godfrey on him.
I don't know if Davis trying to shoot or pass, but he got it blocked either way. Clemson the other way, and then Ingram tips away a pass in transition out of bounds, and it will stay with Clemson. R.J. Davis just seems a little out of sorts. Clemson's got some length on that perimeter, and it seems like it's bothered Davis a little bit. Withers, by the way, just comes running back out of the locker room and rejoins his teammates on the bench, so he appears to be fine. 18-17 Clemson. Carolina just 2 of its last 10 from the floor after making its first 4 shots. Shefflin at the left elbow. Now has it outside the arc on the left. Bounce pass to the right side to Girard. Girard guarded by R.J. Davis. Davis pokes it away from behind. Girard goes and gets it back. Now he's trying to back him in. Girard lowers his shoulder. His fall away. Tough shot off the back iron. Good defense by R.J. Davis the whole time as Wojcik dives to the floor for the loose ball. But as he tries to push it to Baycott, not enough steam on it. And it ends up with Clemson. And now the officials need to check the clock.
Yeah, I don't think they reset the shot clock on that previous shot.
They're going to say Wojcik had possession enough to reset it to 30 instead of just resetting it to 20, which was done in arena. So the clock will be at 28. 9:54 on the game clock. Clemson up 18-17. Carolina sputtering offensively. Backdoor Girard misses the layup. Carolina, though, has been out of sorts, given the Tigers too many clean looks. Ryan wide open to Ingram, misses the layup.
Wow.
There was a late challenge, but Ingram still could have easily pushed that in. He has really struggled to get the ball in the basket with some tough shots and some open looks. Clemson the other way, still 18-17. Carolina 2 of its last 11 from the floor. Chase Hunter gets free from Wojcik and strips the net at the free throw line. Pete, right now, Carolina's just getting out of position defensively.
Yeah, defense does not look solid right now. We got to be able to rely on that defense every time down. It's not been there.
R.J. Davis with Carolina now trailing by 3. Got to start finding some offense, too. Davis lobs a pass to Baycott, right back to Davis. Shot clock down to 10. Davis, bounce pass in the post to Baycott. Left side, hung on the rim, but drops home. Baycott is working hard to get the ball in scoring position. 20-19, Clemson by 1. He's frustrated, too, by the way, Baycott, at the lack of whistles.
Yeah, but I think we got to milk that play, go down to him a lot.
Chase Hunter, left sideline for Clemson with the Tigers up 1 and with the ball. Heels have Zayden High and Elliott Cadeau, 2 freshmen, at the scorer's table. Down low, Godfrey, banging with Baycott. Godfrey, boy, pivoted in a 360 there. Out to Girard, mile-long 3, no good. Baycott with the rebound, just able to keep his pivot foot down after getting bumped in the back after getting the board. Heels down 1 with the basketball. R.J. Davis to Baycott, high post, holding it above his head. 1 dribble, sends it to Davis in the corner left. Gets a screen from Baycott to come back up the sideline. Now he's going to fire a long 3. Tips off the front iron, no. Rebound poked out of bounds by Cormac Ryan. Right now, Carolina's offense just stagnant. Feels like it's not moving a lot. A lot of either one-man or two-man games between Baycott and Davis. So Carolina, see if they can get moving a little better offensively.
Yeah,
and Ingram's part of that too, Pete. He's just 5 of his last 26.
Yeah, transition looks good, but when they slow us down a little bit, our half court is not in rhythm at all.
Baycott, by the way, now has 2009 career points. He has passed Charlie Scott as Carolina gets a steal. Cormac Ryan gets the turnover to Cadeau, who just checked in. Baycott has moved into 6th all-time in scoring in Carolina history with his points today. Heels down 1 with the ball, looking for some consistent offense. Baycott to Ingram. Gets a screen, wraps to the top, sends it to Cadeau. Well out on the right wing. Finds High, his fellow freshman, on the low block. High spins, hooks, and hooks it in. Nice move by the rookie.
Yeah, looked very confident. That was a nice shot.
5 on the floor for Carolina. Cadeau, Ryan, High, Ingram, and Baycott. Heels back up a point. 21-20, and a silly foul on High as he saw the pass coming to Shefflin out between the circles and wanted to get a hand in there and do something right, and instead just banged into Shefflin. That's High's first, but most importantly, it's already the 7th on Carolina. So Clemson, a good free throw shooting team at nearly 76%, will be in the bonus the rest of the half. Carolina has only seen the Tigers
whistled for 3 fouls so far. 21-20, Carolina by a point, 7:11 to go in the first half, but Clemson will have free throws, a 1-and-1 for Shefflin when we return. Heels up 1 from Learfield. (21-20) Carolina, 7:11 to go in the first half. Food Lion, the proud sponsor of the Score, to give more program for each free throw the Tar Heels make in today's game. Food Lion Feeds will donate 100 meals to a local area food bank. Keep that in the back of your mind because I want to mention that here in just a second. Also brought to you in part by Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. And Pete, some of these Lenovo stats brought to you by Lenovo, Lenovo.com, smarter technology for all. One of them that I want to highlight is the free throws. This Shefflin going to the line for a 1-and-1. So at minimum, Clemson will have shot 8 free throws. If he makes the first and gets the second, that means 9 attempts for the Tigers. Carolina has not attempted but 1 free throw. That was on the Baycott and 1 opportunity early in the game. He missed it. The Heels have not shot a free throw since. Carolina came in 3rd in the nation in free throws made per game, better than 20 per contest. Been a big part of their offense. Neither team has shot very well, but Clemson getting to the line has allowed them to stay in this game.
Yeah, I think some of our fouls have been kind of soft ones, not really choosing the option of fouling as opposed to defending. I think we keep it up. We're going to get some of these calls as we get through this game, but we got to make sure we're pretty solid defensively and stop getting them to the line. That can't help us down the stretch if they're going to outshoot us from the line by that much.
Both teams are good free throw shooting teams. Carolina 77%, Clemson just under 76%. And Shefflin is now 3 for 3. He came into the game 19 of 26, 73% on the season, but he has been pure on all 3 of his attempts thus far. Clemson 7 of 8 as a team. So a third of their points have been at the free throw line. Carolina does not have a single point at the line, and now Shefflin has 6 points because he made both free throws. And there's another clock issue as they did not reset the shot clock properly. Carolina has Cadeau, Ryan, Ingram, Zayden High, and Baycott as the 5 on the floor. 22-21 Clemson. Tar Heels about to inbound it with 7:09 to go in the first half.
I'd like to get it down to Baycott still as we get into this stretch. He has P.J. Hall on him. That'd be great to get him in foul trouble.
Hall had an early foul. Baycott has 6 points as Ryan has it knocked out of his hands by Dylan Hunter. It's going to stay with Carolina as it rolled out of bounds. Dylan Hunter, the best on-ball defender for Clemson. Ingram's going to have to throw it in. It's a tough spot in the corner, but he quickly gets it up the sideline left side to Cadeau. Cadeau, couple dribbles to his right. Hubert Davis frustrated. I don't think Carolina ran what he wanted them to run coming out of that inbound. Ingram has it now. The shot clock down to 7. Trying to back in left of the lane. His pass across the court is tipped away by Clemson, and after it ping-ponged around, there's another foul. It was batted all around, tipped and touched and popped, and Shefflin came up with it, and then High ran up his back. Second foul on High. And that's 8 fouls on Carolina to 3 for Clemson. And I'm not saying these are fouls on Carolina. I'm not suggesting they aren't. It's just that Carolina is allowing Clemson, who has not had a good day offensively, is allowing Clemson easy opportunities at the line. And Shefflin, who's 4 for 4, goes back for another 1-and-1.
Yeah, that whole possession was not very good.
No, as the free throws missed, but Hall gets the offensive rebound and put back. Well, now the Tar Heels are down 3, and they have just been out of sorts offensively. See what they can do here. Ingram has it on the left sideline. Baycott had position. They get it to him a little late, but now he has it on the low left block. Back out to Ingram, who's been ice cold, but now he warms up as he rattles home a 3.
That hand looks better.
24-24. As Ingram knocks in the second three-pointer of the game for the Tar Heels. Neither team has shot well from 3. Clemson 0 for 4, Carolina 2 for 8. Chase Hunter on the perimeter for the Tigers in a tie ball game. 6:03 to go, first half. Now his brother Dylan has it out to Shefflin, guarded by High. He'll hand off to Chase Hunter. He'll switch it. So now Ingram guarding Shefflin in the post. Shefflin will try a step back mid-range, no good. Baycott and Ryan knock each other off the rebound. It eventually belongs to Baycott. So Heels in a tie game with the basketball. Cadeau, front court, gives it to Baycott.
Outside the arc, top of the key. Passes to Ingram. Back to Cadeau. Feet set. Tries a long three. Way off the mark. And the rebound caroms out to Clemson. Cormac Ryan was doing jumping jacks in the left corner. Wide open. The Heels couldn't find him. Still tied at 24 with 5:25 to go in the half. A quick catch-and-shoot three. Not a great shot from Clemson there, but the offensive rebound goes to Shefflin, who scores. That was a three by Chauncey Wiggins, way off the mark. The rebound was tipped by Hall from behind Baycott to Shefflin, who poked it in. 26-24. Shefflin has 8 for the Tigers. Zayden High is going to try a corner three. No good. And the rebound to Shefflin. High, just his second attempted three this season without a make. Clemson by 2 in the ball, and the Tar Heels lose Shefflin. And High picks up his 3rd foul. Boy,
how do you lose Shefflin?
Yeah, he is causing all kinds of trouble for Carolina right now, and that was a rough stretch for High as he picked up a couple of fouls, took an ill-advised three, and he's going to put Shefflin back at the line for 2 shots, and High is up to 3 fouls now. Carolina does have a man at the scorer's table. Clemson's up 2 with Shefflin 2 shots at the free throw stripe. This will be the 11th and 12th free throw of the half for Clemson. Carolina still has just 1. And now officials want to talk about it. I think Ron Gruber was thinking it was a 1-and-1, but then realized it had been a shooting foul. He wanted all the subs to come in, but since it's a shooting foul, they'll now come in after the free throw is good by Shefflin. Shefflin's season high is 16. His career high is 20. He's already at 9 as Cadeau, High, and Baycott all leave. Davis, Withers, and Washington return. So Carolina has Davis, Ryan, Withers, Ingram, and Washington as Shefflin makes another free throw. He's in double figures for the 6th time this year. He's going to get a big round of applause as he'll go to the bench. He has 10 of the last 14 points for Clemson. And the Tigers are up by 4, their largest advantage of the half, 28-24. Cormac Ryan off the screen, gets to the right elbow. His jumper is pure. Ryan has 7, and Carolina's back within 2 at 28-26. 4.5 to go first half. Godfrey out in the middle of the floor to Lyda, who checked back in, the reserve big man for the Tigers, to Chase Hunter. Drives to the free throw line, out to his brother Dylan. Left of the lane, loses his footing, able to save it over on the right side to his brother Chase, who misses the 3. Rebound to Withers. He'll get it to R.J. Davis. Tar Heels down 2 with the basketball. Withers in transition, gets too deep, kicks it out to Ingram. Can't pull the trigger on the 3. Heels reset. Out to R.J. Davis. Gets a big screen from Washington. Passes to Cormac Ryan, right corner. To Washington. Faces up right baseline and knocks in the mid-range jumper. Washington's first bucket. Pete ties it up at 28.
Much better possession. Took your time. Found somebody inside. Good shot.
Didn't force. Had a couple of chances on the Withers drive. The Ingram perimeter catch could have forced a difficult shot. Instead got a much better one. Withers flashes in front in the post and knocks a pass out of bounds. It will stay with Clemson. But Withers disruptive defensively. 15 on the shot clock, 3:40 on the first half game clock. And we are where this game has been most of the game, and that is very, very close. Heels have led by as many as 6, Clemson by as many as 4. It is currently dead even at 28. 3:40 to go first half. Tigers will have it when we return from Learfield. Carolina and Clemson tied at 28 with 3:40 to go in the first half. For more than 25 years, Top of the Hill Restaurant and Brewery has been a pre- and post-game tradition in Chapel Hill. Handcrafted beer, great food and atmosphere. It's where Tar Heels come to celebrate. Pete, this one hadn't been real hard to figure out so far. Neither team shooting great. Clemson 41%, Carolina right about 45%, but the Heels are 2 of 10 from three-point range. Clemson hasn't made a 3. The biggest issue for the Tar Heels has been defending without fouling. They've been whistled for 9 fouls, and again, these are pretty easy calls, I think, for the most part. Zayden High has 3, Cadeau has 2, and a lot of those fouls have resulted in free throws. Clemson has 10 of its 28 points at the free throw line. Tar Heels have 0 points
at the free throw line on just one attempt.
Yeah, cheap fouls. I don't think we're moving our feet too good on some of those drives. They're getting to the basket. They're getting some of those calls that we're not getting because we're not really driving to the basket. So I think we can even that out by being a little bit more aggressive on offense, but also on defense. We got to be able to slide those feet and not get those cheap fouls.
Shefflin, who's back in for Clemson, leads all scorers with 10. Chase Hunter has 7. For Carolina, Cormac Ryan has 7, and then Baycott with 6. Heels will have Davis, Ryan, Withers, Ingram, Jalen Washington. That's the 5 on the floor. A switch has Hall guarded by R.J. Davis in the post. Carolina gets it into Hall, but he can't score, and then Davis rips away the rebound. R.J. Davis proving to be, as Roy Williams would say, a tough little nut. 28-28. Jalen Washington on the perimeter for Carolina. I think he thought Jalen Withers was going to take a handoff pass. Withers wasn't looking at him. Ends up to Cormac Ryan. A catch-and-shoot 3 is good from the right wing. Cormac Ryan's come to play today. 4 of 6 from the field, 2 3-pointers. He has 10, and the Heels are up 3, 31-28. I don't think that play went any way the way the Heels wanted, except Ryan put it in the basket.
I'll just say that's just like they drew it up.
Down low to Hall, gets good position against Washington and scores. Washington, that's a tough task as Baycott's already come off the bench to come to the scorer's table. Hall, a physical player down low. Not that Washington can't be, but Hall, a veteran, mature player. 31-30. Cormac Ryan well out on the wing. Finds Washington cutting to the basket and lays it in on the right side. P.J. Hall took a tumble with some contact. That allowed Washington the easy 2. 33-30.
Nice pass.
It was a good pass from Ryan as well. Could have pulled up in the mid-range. Instead, dropped it to Washington. 4 points for Jalen, 33-30, as Ryan slips and falls. So a three-pointer taken by Girard, and now Ryan is down again and is holding his ankle.
Yeah.
Ryan is in clear discomfort, holding his right ankle. Remember, he had the ankle issues earlier this year, came up at the end of the Villanova game. I don't know if that was a wet spot. Ryan slipped and fell. Then Girard fell on his missed 3, and then Ryan fell again after he got back up to try to get back into play. And that's when Ryan was injured. I did not see whether it was just a slip, if his feet got tangled with Girard's feet, or what happened. But now Hubert Davis and Tar Heel trainer Doug Halverson out there with Ryan, who is going to walk under his own power but with some notable discomfort towards the bench. Ryan, it has been that kind of year for him, just luck-wise, where he's having a day where he's shooting well. 4 of 6, 2 of 4 from 3, and he's shaken up. He's going to go to the end of the bench. He's clearly frustrated and in some pain as Doug Halverson talks to him. Carolina will come out of this quick stoppage, and the Heels will have the ball because that missed shot by Girard went out of bounds. Tar Heels will have Davis, Trimble, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. Ryan still being attended to by Doug Halverson. 2:07 to go first half. Heels up 3 with the ball. Ingram was free for a moment on the left baseline, didn't take the shot. Now he's going to slowly diagnose his way in, force up the shot in the paint, and draw the foul.
Being aggressive, you're going to get some of those calls. That was good.
Fouls on Chauncey Wiggins, his first, just the 4th on Clemson, but it will result in free throws for Ingram as he was in the act of shooting. Keeping an eye on Ryan. Looks like Doug Halverson has pulled out some tape as Ingram's free throw is good. Looks like Doug Halverson's pulled out some tape and given Ryan some pain medicine. Some pills to take. 34-30. 34-30. Free throw rattles out. Clemson with the rebound. Rebounds 18-15. Carolina with the slight advantage. But Clemson with that defensive board has the basketball. 1:45 to go in the half. Heels up 4. Chase Hunter, fall away right of the lane. Used the window and it stayed in. Tough shot by Hunter, who's played well. He has 9. He and Shefflin have combined for 19 of Clemson's 32 points. Carolina by 2 with the ball. 90 seconds to go first half. Ingram passes in the corner right to Withers. Drives baseline. Finds Trimble open left side. He's going to attack the rim and loses the ball as he drew contact. Clemson the other way, and Davis strips it away from Chase Hunter, and ball goes out of bounds off Carolina, but a great job by Davis to strip it free on what looked like it was going to be an easy layup in transition for the Tigers. Ingram with heavy effort dove into the crowd, knocked over a brightly orange-clad Tiger fan going for the loose ball. Everybody's all right. 1:15 to go, first half. Ryan has rejoined the rest of his bench teammates in the normal seated area, coming off from where he had been on the back end. Carolina by 2, Clemson with the ball. Girard gets free from Trimble, drives in, can't finish, but a foul's called. I think that is going to be on Ingram, as Girard had worked free from Trimble. Ingram rotated over to help and picks up his second foul, 10th on Carolina. So of the 14 fouls called in this half, 10 have been on the Tar Heels. Girard will shoot 2, the 13th and 14th free throws for the Tigers in the first half. Ryan has come back to the scorers table as Girard missed a free throw earlier today, just his 4th of the year. So I have to imagine he's probably done for the day missing.
I want some of those pills that they gave him.
Yeah.
That's amazing he's back so soon.
Ingram, with picking up his second foul, will go to the bench as Ryan comes in for him. Girard coolly knocks in both free throws. So it's tied at 34 with 1:08 to go in the half.
Sometimes it's better to get on that ankle and keep playing, because if it gets cold and stiffens up, you'll be in trouble.
Withers, some trouble getting it in as Shefflin was face guarding Davis. Gets it into Ryan. He'll now get it to RJ, who comes front side. 1 minute to play first half. Game tied at 34. In the corner, it goes to Trimble. Baycott is just being thrown around in the post. He gets the pass. Double team comes. Dribbles out of it to Davis on the right sideline. Shot clock down to 9 as Davis goes to the baseline and turns it over. Just got caught in no man's land as he jumped up, didn't really have a plan, tried to pass it to Withers and turned it over. Clemson's going to take its use it or lose it timeout with 38 and a half seconds to go in the half. 24 on the shot clock. So Clemson will not be able to hold for the final shot here. Carolina, assuming that either the shot goes in or the Heels get a defensive rebound, will get one more possession. Carolina's made 4 of its last 5 shots, but currently in a tie game, 38 and a half seconds to go. Neither team been great from the field. Carolina, although, it's got that shooting percentage up to 47%. 15 of 32, but just 3 of 11 from 3. 1 of 3 at the free throw line with 5 turnovers. Clemson shooting 42%, 11 of 26, 0 of 7 from 3, but 12 of 14 at the free throw line. Those Lenovo stats brought to you by Lenovo, a global technology leader that has called North Carolina home since 2005. Lenovo.com, Lenovo smarter technology for all. Tar Heels have not had, we told you earlier, they had a bunch of offensive rebounds early, but they only have 1 since the first 4 minutes of the game. So the Heels not able to get those second chance opportunities. Corner 3 spins out for Clemson. Rebound to Baycott, and now Carolina can hold for the final shot. We'll see if the Tar Heels take their use it or lose it timeout. They will. So Carolina will take its timeout with 20.7 seconds to go in the half. So Clemson, as good as it's been at the free throw line, 12 of 14, has been 0 of 8 from 3. Carolina's not been particularly good from either. 3 of 11 from 3 and just 1 of 3 at the free throw line. Carolina from 2-point range, Pete, in this game is 12 of 21. So nearly 60%, to your point. When the Heels have gotten the ball, particularly to Baycott in good position or to Ryan coming off a screen, those have been the best options for the Tar Heels so far today.
They really have. I think we look a little more confident and comfortable getting the ball inside, but some of those possessions, don't look really good because it seems like we're forcing some of the other stuff. To be in this position after the free throw discrepancy and the fact that RJ kind of looks out of sorts today for the first time in a while, I feel pretty confident and comfortable being able to go in at halftime with a lead or tied.
Davis is 2 of 6, 0 of 2 from the field, or from 3, excuse me, with a turnover, just 4 points. Worth noting, don't know if Clemson wants to, but they've only been called for 4 fouls, so they could foul twice here without Carolina shooting free throws. Now, that's a strategy you more often see at the end of a game compared to the end of a half, but it is an option for Clemson without Carolina going to the line. Heels will have 3 guards on. Actually, if you count Cormac Ryan, they'll have 4 guards out there. Cadeau, Davis, Trimble, Ryan, and Baycott, the 5 on the floor. Inbounds goes in the backcourt to Cadeau. He'll now wait in the center jump circle. Baycott at the left elbow back to the basket. Trimble at the right elbow. Bounce pass goes to Trimble, or to Baycott. Poked away from him. He gets it back. Now to Cadeau. Boy, a lot of contact off the ball. Cadeau is going to get it to Baycott left of the lane, and he's tackled to the ground. And then Clemson stands over Baycott as the first half horn sounds. Carolina was asking for something, anything on that possession, as what was trying to happen off the ball was clogged up, and then what happened on the ball was clogged up due to a lot of contact. We'll go to halftime tied up at 34. Clemson is flashing the word grit. That's one word for it on all the video boards here in the arena. Carolina and Clemson tied up at 34 at the half, in a half that Carolina probably would like a little better offense moving into the second 20 minutes. First time this year that either of these teams have been tied at the half. It's at 34 from Learfield. That's it for the Wells Fargo Halftime Show, brought to you by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics. Off we go to the second half, but not before we get our trusted choice of the game. Brought to you by the Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina, who want you to stay safe behind the wheel. Put down your phone while driving, and let's have a hands-free NC. To learn more and find an agent near you, visit trustedchoice.com/go-heels. Pete, in this tie game, what do you think will be important for Carolina in the second half?
No, it's a no-brainer for me. We can't even get remotely close to letting them get to the line 14 times in the second half. If they shoot 28 free throws, I don't think we win this game.
Yeah, 14 free throw attempts for Clemson in the first half, just 3 for the Tar Heels. There were 4 fouls called on Clemson and 10 on the Tar Heels in the first half. And foul trouble, Dave mentioned that going to break. 2 on Ingram, 2 on Cadeau, 3 on Zayden High. No one has more than 1 for the Tigers. Carolina will come out of the huddle with its normal starting 5. Also worth noting on Ingram, we've said he's had some struggles here from the field as of late, just 1 of 4 in that first half. He didn't have a rebound in that first half either, and he is Carolina's second leading rebounder at 7 per game, coming off that terrific performance against Pitt where he had 15. See if he can get a little more involved on the glass as well. Tar Heels need him to be as good as they can be. Clemson will have the ball first. Again, that North Carolina Farm Bureau scoreboard reads 34 apiece. Around the perimeter, Clemson works it now to Shefflin down low on the low left block. Out to Gerard, wide open for 3, but off the back iron. Long rebound goes to Hall. Back to Gerard. Second try won't go either. Shefflin with the rebound on the third try on the possession. Clemson scored. Shefflin poses in front of Ingram, flexing to show him that he outworked him for the bucket. 12 points for Shefflin. Hubert Davis jumping up and down, trying to get Cadeau to get moving in the offensive half court for Carolina. They get it to Baycott, one-on-one with Hall in the post right side. His hook shot on the baseline, no good. Rebound to Clemson. Tigers working it the other way. They get it in the post to Hall against Baycott. Those two banging into one another. Hall picks up his dribble, has to send it well out near the timeline on the left to Chase Hunter to reset the possession. Hunter around a screen. He's going to try a step back. Nice jumper against Cadeau, but comes up way short. Rebound tips off the iron, bounces once into Baycott's hands. Good box out by Ingram. Earned the easy rebound for Baycott. Clemson up 2. Carolina with the basketball. Heels going left to right as we see it here in the second half here in Littlejohn. Cadeau to Baycott high post. Carolina's offense just not able to get moving much as Ingram drives by Shefflin. Tried to pass it into the corner to Davis, but it got tangled up in the net
just deadened the pass, and it fell right to the Tigers. Hall on the other side for Clemson, trying to back in against Baycott on the right side. Spins to the baseline. Tough hook shot is well short. Shefflin from behind. Ingram tips it away to keep the possession going. Out to Hall. Can't hit the three. Shefflin, though, keeps it going again. Tips it to Chase Hunter for the two. Shefflin is single-handedly keeping Carolina at bay at the moment. And Withers has come off the bench for Carolina. Clemson by 4. Cadeau drives hard, leaves it to Baycott, taken away from behind by Shefflin. That was a good idea. Carolina just couldn't complete the play. P.J. Hall hands off to Gerard, and a foul's called on Cadeau.
Yeah, you mentioned those rebounds with Harrison. It's like that was 2 or 3 possessions in a row where he couldn't get the rebound.
Shefflin has 6 rebounds in total, but he's kept a bunch of plays alive. Withers is going to replace Ingram after he has the sequence of not being able to keep Shefflin off the glass. Clemson now out-rebounding Carolina 22-20. Tar Heels have taken 1 shot this half. Clemson's taken 7 in the first 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Chase Hunter weaving deep, falls down, and he's going to turn it over as the pass is going to roll all the way over the baseline underneath Carolina's offensive basket. So Carolina will be inbounding it in its offensive half with 17:31 to go. That's amazing. 7 shots Clemson's taken to 1 for Carolina this half.
Like a broken record, I think we should get the ball down low. We haven't got much going here in the second half at all.
Inbounds goes to Cadeau on the left sideline. Now to Cormac Ryan. Bounce pass to R.J. Davis, and a foul is called on Chase Hunter. That's his first. First on Clemson this half. Carolina will inbound it. Tar Heels still haven't scored this half. It was 34-34 at the break. 38-34. Clemson now with the advantage. Baseline left, Cadeau, the inbounder. Finds Ryan. Catch and shoot 3 from the left side is short. Good look. Just didn't go. Shefflin, another rebound. Shefflin, 10 or 12 points and 7 rebounds for the Tigers. He brings it front court, now bounces to Hall, who faces up against Baycott, left of the lane. Now he'll back to the ACC logo. Bangs into Baycott, pivots, turns, can't finish. Withers, hey, somebody boxed out Shefflin, and he gets the rebound. To Cadeau, quickly ahead to R.J. Davis. Drives in, kicks it to a trailing Withers. Wide open look for 3 is no good, and Baycott is grabbed from behind on the rebound by P.J. Hall. That's his second. Second on Clemson this half. Carolina still without a field goal. 0 for 3 this half. Tar Heels are also, 2 of the 3 shots have been threes. They are just 3 of 13 from three-point range. Ryan is 2 of 5. Ingram 1 of 2. Cadeau 0 of 1. Davis 0 of 2. Withers and High 0 of 1. Washington missed 1 as well in the first half. Davis, long time to get it in, finally does so just before the 5-second count to Ryan out near the center jump circle area. Back to Davis. He'll get it to Baycott, one-on-one with the reserve, Lyda, who checked in. Kicks it out to Cadeau. Pump fake, drives, and he's fouled going to the rim.
Good decision, get to the basket. Can't get a layup, but got a foul.
It's on Gerard. That's his second. Third on Clemson. So Clemson's almost been called for as many fouls in the first 3 minutes and 21 seconds of this half as they were the entire first half. Cadeau will try to get Carolina on the scoreboard here in the second half. It's 38-34 Clemson. And now it's 38-35. Cadeau hits the first free throw. That is just the 4th free throw attempt for Carolina tonight, or this afternoon. The Heels are 2 of 4. Second one for the freshman is good as well. 38-36. Clemson by 2. This has been a physical rock fight between these two teams. Second straight game for Carolina where it has not been very free-flowing. Gerard out to Wiggins. Nice job by Ryan not letting him take the shot. Instead he gives it to Shefflin. He'll drive against Withers. Can't score. Rebound tip to R.J. Davis for Carolina. Davis will bring it front side on his own dribble. Whips it out to Withers. Thought about the 3. Instead he's going to drive left of the lane. Now he'll pivot. Send it left corner to Ryan. He drives hard. Out to Davis. Long distance triple is good.
Davis gives Carolina the lead. He was knocked down as well. No whistle. But the Heels will happy to take the 3 and lead by 1.
Definitely take the 3.
39-38. See if RJ can get rolling. That's just point number 7 for him in the ball game. Shefflin. And a foul down low as Baycott's going to be whistled for his first. He was tangled up with Boz Leita underneath the rim. So the foul on Baycott is first. Second on Carolina this half. And it will send the game to the under 16 at timeout. 15:47 to go. Clemson scored the first 4 points of the half. Carolina's answered with the next 5. 39-38 Carolina. 15:47 to play in Littlejohn from Learfield. Nine lead changes, 6 ties. Neither team has led by more than 6 points. Clemson's led for 10 minutes and 8 seconds. Carolina's led for 9 minutes and 41 seconds. It's been a very even game. Neither team, I would think, would say that it's played well through the first half and the first 4 minutes and 13 seconds of the second half, or at least not as well as it can play. But it has been nip and tuck all afternoon. 39-38 Carolina, 15:47 to go. Modelo, proud to sponsor Carolina basketball, an official beer of the Tar Heels. And a reminder, after the game, we'll have our Best in the Game feature. That's our Player of the Game, brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Pete, what's on your mind with 15:47 to go second half? Carolina up 1, Clemson inbounding the basketball.
Physicality. This game is very physical. You know, it appeared at the beginning of the second half, Clemson had more energy. I think we got a little bit back right now, but we got to be able to outfight them. You know, down the stretch with the home crowd, we don't want this game to get into a 1 to 2 possession game if we can help it. We got to get those rebounds when we and take care of that ball, make good decisions, but just be more physical.
Yeah, 2 turnovers this half for Carolina, and Clemson has out-rebounded the Heels 6-4 this half. Not huge numbers, but certainly it feels like the Tigers, as Pete alluded to, have been the aggressor here in half number 2. But it is the Tar Heels with the 1-point lead. Shefflin passes to Gerard in the left sideline area. Now up top it goes to Chase Hunter. And Hunter just dribbled it off his foot out of bounds. So that's a couple of turnovers for Hunter this half where he's just made some sloppy plays. On a drive, he got too deep and sent it back out for a over and back. Eventually went out of bounds, and then that time just dribbled it right off his foot. So Carolina will have it with a 1-point lead. 39-38. Cadeau, Davis, Ryan, Withers, Baycott. And it's Davis on the right wing. Boy, he was going to try and pull the yo-yo back and try a three-pointer, but lost the dribble. He recovers it. Possession still going. Withers has it left sideline. Dribbles to the ACC logo. Pulls up from there and comes up a little short. Ball hit the front iron and the backboard. Baycott was too deep underneath the rim to get a good chance at the rebound, so Clemson heading the other way. That was a challenged shot. Withers, as Hunter nearly turns it over again. Instead, he saves it out to P.J. Hall, who misses the 3. Clemson has not made a 3. They are shooting poorly. Carolina is just 4 of 14 from 3. Down low it goes to Baycott, working against Hall. Blocked from behind by Shefflin. Loose ball tipped out by Withers. Ends up to Ryan for 3. No. Withers tried the dunk follow. It wouldn't go. Rebound tip by Ryan to Withers. Carolina will go again. Cadeau's going to go on the angle drive. Leaves it for Baycott, and he's fouled. Great effort by Withers throughout the entire play. He kept that thing going even when it was a mess. As Ingram's going to check in for Cadeau. The foul was on Dylan Hunter of Clemson, his first, and 4th on Clemson. So Carolina's going to have Davis, Ryan, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. Shefflin's going to sit down for Clemson. R.J. Godfrey is back in, the 6'8 sophomore from Suwanee, Georgia. 39-38 Carolina, 14:32 to go. It has not been a beauty pageant of a basketball game this afternoon.
That was a great stretch there. That's the kind of energy we need.
And Withers was all over the place. Inbounds to Ryan in the corner right, quickly up the sideline with the pass to Baycott. He'll hold it out, hand off to Davis. His 3 on line, but short. Rebound to Clemson. That's what Carolina wanted, I think, on that inbound. Davis just couldn't knock it in. RJ struggling a bit for the first time in a long time, shooting the basketball. Just 3 of 8 today. Hall will try a 3. Hit the backboard first. Ingram with the rebound for Carolina. Pushes it ahead the right sideline to Ryan. Back to a trailing Ingram. Boy, Baycott wanted it in the post. Carolina can't get it to him. Withers on the drive. Almost traveled. Able to get it to Baycott left of the lane. Baycott in a double team. He's tied up. Possession arrow is going to belong to Carolina as now both teams start wrestling with one another. Hubert Davis fired up. Been over and clapping. The arrow will give it to Carolina. The Tar Heels, though, just can't get out of their own way at times offensively as Trimble's going to come in. Let's see who he'll replace.
That's a technical in a lot of games we've played this year.
What happened?
Just talking to him.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talking. Clemson, remember, they stood over Baycott, blocked his shot at the end of the first half. They're trying to get him worked up, and it's working. Inbounds to Ryan from R.J. Davis. So again, Trimble came in for Withers. Davis, crossover once, twice. Shot clock's down to 5. Got to go to Ingram. He'll pull up the long three. It was online, but too strong. Trimble with the offensive board. Out to Ryan. He's banged on the drive, and it's going to go out of bounds and belong to Clemson. Carolina had multiple opportunities, great effort on the possession, but could never get anything out of it. That's 2 straight possessions where Carolina, the effort is not questioned. The execution just hadn't been there. Still 39-38 with less than 13 and a half to go here in Littlejohn. Gerard, Trimble right there in his pocket on the catch. Sends it out for a 3 made by Chauncey Wiggins. First one Clemson's made today. 1 of 15 now from 3. Tigers up 2. R.J. Davis takes contact from Hall. No whistle. Dribbles, sends it to Ingram. Answers the triple from the left wing. Ingram with the dagger. Just his second field goal gives Carolina the 1-point lead, 42-41. The intensity has not waned today, but it feels like it's popped up a little bit here in the last couple of minutes. Gerard picks up his dribble on the sideline. Nowhere to go. Has to send it out to Wiggins between the circles. To Godfrey. Godfrey fumbles the ball at the right wing. Picks it up down low to Hall. Taken away by Baycott. And a foul called on Baycott. And he is frustrated. He is following Tony Henderson, the official, to ask him about the call. I think it's a wise move. Washington's coming in for Baycott, if for no other reason, just to chill him out for a second, as Baycott has his second foul. Now, Clemson's going to answer with Shefflin coming in. So Carolina's got to be ready without Baycott and Shefflin in there to rebound the basketball. 42-41 Heels, 12:35 to go.
You got to stay mentally into this game. It's getting very physical.
Inbound, flipped out to Wiggins against Ryan. Drive through the top of the key from left to right. Now trying to back up against Ryan. His turnaround does not get the roll. Rebound picked up off the bounce by Ingram. Good defense by Ryan, forcing a tough shot. Heels up 1 with the basketball. Feels like ACC basketball this afternoon, even though there hadn't been a lot of buckets. Trimble has it. Angle drive from the right. And a foul is going to be called on Gerard for tripping Trimble. As Trimble stopped and pivoted. That's 3 fouls on Gerard. Becomes the first Tiger with 3. 5th foul on Clemson this half after being called for 4 in the first half. As a team, 12:09 to go. Heels inbound again. Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, Washington, the 5 on the floor. Inbounds, a short bounce pass to Ingram. He's going to face up against Shefflin. Pump fake. Now he's going to try and back in against him. Ingram. They collide once, twice, 3 times. He goes up, can't score. Rebound knocked out by the Tar Heels. 11:59 to play in the second half. 42-41. Carolina is 2 of 11 shooting this half. Clemson is 3 of 13 from the field this half. 42-41 Heels, 11:59 to go. In case you're wondering, that is a combined 5 of 24, 3 of 14 from 3 between the two teams. Heels up a point, 42-41 from Learfield.
We're on the road with Honda dealers of the Carolinas. If you're a Tar Heel fan, don't just cheer for the best, drive the best. Drive a Honda. Better hurry, they're going fast. See your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today.
Another physical battle for Carolina in conference play. They outlasted Pitt 70-57 on Tuesday night. Currently lead Clemson 42-41, 11:59 to play. It's a new season at Kohl's with everyday styles at great prices. You can get more of what you want for less. Find go-tos for going everywhere and perfect picks for your home. Shop Kohl's and Kohls.com today, KOHLS.com. Let's look at some of those Lenovo stats presented by Lenovo, smarter technology for all. And these aren't pretty. Second half, Carolina 2 of 11 from the field. That's 18%. 2 of 7 from 3. 2 of 2 at the free throw line. Carolina shooting 39.5% for the game. 5 of 18 from 3. Clemson 3 of 13 shooting this half. That's 23%. 1 of 7 from 3. Tigers are 14 of 40. That's 35% shooting for the game. 1 of 15 from three-point range. Clemson, after going 12 of 14 at the free throw line in the first half, hasn't shot a free throw this half. Carolina is 2 of 2 at the line this half, but just 3 of 5 for the game in total. Carolina comes out with Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, Washington, the same 5 that were on the floor before the dead ball timeout. Shefflin, who's been a big part of Clemson's attack today, sends it in the right corner to Godfrey, trying to back in against Ingram. His turnaround hook shot is an air ball. The rebound tipped out of Jalen Washington's hands by Shefflin, but Tony Henderson says last touched by Washington. Out of bounds to the Tigers. Inbounds to Chauncey Wiggins, trying to back in against Cormac Ryan. Won't go. Rebound, tipped around. Finally, Seth Trimble muscles it down. He'll pitch from the right side of the court to the left side to R.J. Davis, who comes front side. Now back to the right, hands off to Trimble on the right wing. Up high it goes to Jalen Washington, looking for Davis. Hands off to him. Shot clock at 14. Now to Ryan on the right wing. Ryan had that ankle issue in the first half, and he turns it over. Just a miscommunication. Trying to get it to Davis. Davis was about to cut towards the hoop. Ryan thought he was going to stay put, and he sends it out of bounds. That is the 4th turnover this half. 9th of the game for Carolina. The Heels came in averaging just 10 turnovers a game, which would have been a school record low. They're at 10.1 per game right now.
Feels like if either team can get on a little roll here, it can make some separation. Just not been there at all, though.
Yeah. There has been a fast break point in this game. Neither team has a fast break point. Shefflin hands off to Chase Hunter. Hunter gets a screen from Hall. Tar Heels will switch it. Hunter will pull up for 3, in and out, and Hall shoved Washington in the back on the rebound. 3rd foul on Hall, 6th on Clemson. Baycott and Paxson Wojcik coming to the scorer's table. It will be Ryan and Washington who exit. Hall will sit down. Girard is coming back in as well. Chauncey Wiggins will sit. So Carolina is going to have Davis, Trimble, Wojcik, Ingram, and Baycott as the 5 on the floor. Trimble, middle of the floor to R.J. Davis. Gets a screen from Baycott to get to the right side. Wraps around it, long pass to Trimble, left wing. Trying to get it down low to Baycott, nothing there. Drives in, back out to Wojcik, now to Davis, well out on the right. Shot clock down to 9. Davis fakes the handoff to Ingram. He's just going to try a step back 3 and swish it home. Davis, sometimes he's your best option. Carolina's offense just has not been able to get moving in the half court. RJ pulled up and dropped it home, 45-41. His second 3 of the half. He's up to 10 points. Wojcik doing his best to stay with Girard. Girard bounces left of the lane to Shefflin. Shefflin faces up against Ingram. Boy, just bodied him right to the rim and hooked it in. Shefflin has beaten up Ingram a bit in the post today.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup for Harrison.
R.J. Davis around a screen. Is hit on his jump shot, no whistle. He's pleading as it came up short for a foul call. Clemson the other way after the rebound. 45-43. Tar Heels by 2. We're under 10 minutes to go. 9:42 to play. Godfrey
Guarded by Baycott, outside the arc. Will hand off to Girard. Girard pulls up from 17. He's short. There's Baycott with the board. The two teams have made a combined 7 field goals in the second half. 7 of 32 between the two teams. Baycott to Ingram, top of the key. Didn't take the three, instead sings it to Trimble. Back out to Ingram. Pump fake again. He's going to drive down the paint, and boy, a collision at the rim. There's the whistle as Ingram will go to the line. That's Godfrey who mauled Ingram on the drive.
That was a good decision by Harrison. He could have shot that one, but I'd like the pump fake, get to the hole.
Now here's the good news. Just like the whistles were heavily in favor of Clemson in the first half, they've been heavily in favor of the Tar Heels in the second. That's the 7th foul on Clemson. So Carolina will be in the bonus the rest of the game. This is a 2-shot opportunity for Ingram as he was in the act of shooting. And he misses. Front iron, backboard, and off. Carolina is just 3 of 6 at the free throw line. Baycott 0 for 1. Ingram 1 of 3. Cadeau is 2 of 2. But that means neither Ryan nor Davis, Carolina's best 2 free throw shooters by far, have gotten to the line. And Ingram goes 0 for 2. He is now 1 of 4. 9 of his last 17 from the line. It remains 45-43. Girard finds a cutting Chase Hunter, lays it in from the left side. A rare piece of flowing offense from one of these two teams. Heels push it quickly the other way. Trimble sends it in the corner left to Paxton Wojcik. He'll dribble it out and reset. Guarded by P.J. Hall on a switch. Wojcik rainbows in a triple. Wojcik's first three-pointer made since the Arkansas game.
Love the confidence that he stepped into that one.
48-45. He has such a high, soft shot. Chase Hunter going hard against the screen. Boy, he got by Cadeau, and then there was just too much traffic. That was too easy. Hunter's up to 15 points, 6 this half. Cadeau nearly turned it over. Baycott able to get it. Short bounce pass to Ingram. Out to Trimble for 3. Yes! Trimble from the left side.
Great.
Every field goal the Tar Heels have made this half have been a 3. 5 of 10 from 3, 5 of 16 in total. And a hand check foul on Trimble as he was trying to stay in front of Girard. First foul on Trimble, 4th on Carolina. Trimble's now 7 of 12 this season from three-point range. That's after making 1 all of last year.
Looks so confident out there, and that was another great decision to kick it out to him.
8:02 to go. 51-47 Carolina. Inbounds goes to Shefflin. Hands off to Chase Hunter, who's been a problem here in recent possessions. Again crosses over to try to get by Cadeau. Sends it out to Hall. Down low to Shefflin, who'd gotten free for the dunk. It all started when Cadeau couldn't stay in front of Hunter. That got Carolina out of rotation. Shefflin's up to 16, matching his season high. Cadeau out to Ingram. Doesn't take the 3. Back to Cadeau. Sends it right back to Ingram on the top right. He'll back up. Still 13 on the shot clock. Carolina by 2 with the ball. Ingram drives hard on the right. Middle of the paint, passes to Baycott and finishes through contact. Baycott's first bucket of the second half. He has 8. 53-49. Both teams starting to find some points now. Girard drives by Trimble. Pump fake gets Trimble way up in the air. Girard didn't take the shot. Instead, he sent it out to Hall. Three-pointer. Karam's off the front iron and out of bounds. It will belong to Carolina when we return. 7:11 to play. Carolina 53. Clemson 49. Tar Heels will have the basketball when we come back in what has been a physical battle, an intense battle on an ACC Saturday. Carolina up 4, and they'll have it when we come back from Learfield. Carolina 53, Clemson 49. 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go. Second half in Littlejohn. One other ACC game going on. Pitt leads Louisville 65-50 in the second half. Virginia at State at 2. Miami visits Wake at 2:15. BC at Georgia Tech 4 o'clock. Florida State hosts Virginia Tech at 4. Duke travels to Notre Dame at 6 o'clock tonight. The Good Feet Store. If you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, Good Feet Arch Supports are engineered to support all 4 arches to provide pain relief, balance, and comfort. Try them for yourself Book your free fitting today at goodfeet.com. Pete, just one 2-point basket for Carolina this half. That was Baycott's hook shot a moment ago. The other 5 makes have all been threes, but they've come here recently as the Heels now up 4.
Yeah, we're going to need that down the stretch here to get the ball inside, control the clock a little bit, control the tempo. I think if we can do that, we'll get some kickouts, but we got to get some points. 2-pointers are not terrible. I think I'll take a 2 anytime.
Still no fast break points in this game for either team. I mean, it has just been a slugfest in the half court. Possession after possession.
Just when we got some of that rhythm, it looked like Clemson also got some rhythm.
Yep.
They had a couple 3 layups in a row, so we need to make sure if we could stop them a few times, we could get a little push here.
A lot of different Tar Heels have scored. 10 different Tar Heels have scored, though. Heels have a 14-2 advantage in bench points in this game. Ingram trying to back in against Shefflin on the low left block. Sends it out to R.J. Davis. Right back to Ingram. Pump fake for 3 against Shefflin. Still 12 on the shot clock. As Ingram. Again, a little hesitation dribble. His tough runner on the baseline. No, but Ingram gets his own rebound. He will. Well, he's going to keep his dribble alive and now send it out to Cadeau to reset. Cadeau. Crossover against Gerard. Can't get by him. Pull up from the left elbow is way short. Baycott, the offensive rebound, hesitates for a moment and scores. I think Baycott couldn't believe he was so free once he got the rebound.
I thought I heard a whistle, but guess not.
6:24 to go. Heels matching their largest lead of 6, 55-49. Dylan Hunter, hands off to his brother Chase. His fall away, right lane is good. Chase Hunter is playing well. He has 17. That's one off his season high. He has 8 of Clemson's points in the second half. They only have 17, so he has almost half of them. Cadeau, he's going to pull up for 3 from behind a screen. No good. Not that Cadeau can't make it, but I'm not sure that was the option there. 55-51. Down low it goes to Hall on the other side. Stripped away by Baycott. Right back to Hall, though, and his hook shot goes in. So Clemson back-to-back buckets. They've taken it from 6 to 2 at 55-53. Ingram between the circles in the front court. Baycott wanted the ball in the post, but Ingram didn't feel confident with the pass. Instead goes left side to Davis. Back out to Ingram. Pitches it way over on the right to Trimble. Finally down low to Baycott, one-on-one with Hall. Clemson knocking a double team as Baycott spins and scores. They're going to call a foul on Hall, who took a dive on the contact.
Amazing that we got that call. That was a strong move. Usually they give him the charge on that one.
So the foul is the 4th on Hall, and Baycott will have a chance for a 3-point play. 5:18 to go, 57-53. Baycott, just his second attempt at the line. He missed a free throw in the first half. Heels are just 3 of 7. Now make them 4 of 8 at the free throw line as Baycott converts. It's a 5-point Carolina lead. 58-53. Cormac Ryan came back into the action with Cadeau sitting down during that free throw. Down low to Hall. Banging with Baycott. Hook shot. Hangs in there with the left hand. Man, it popped around, hung on the rim, and dropped in. 2 big-time veteran ACC big men, Hall and Baycott, trading blows right now. 58-55. Baycott to Ingram, top of the key. Sends it to Trimble on the right wing. Oh, Baycott was open. Trimble couldn't get it to him. Now he does. Baycott tries to force it up. No. Shefflin came over to block it from behind. Clemson, I believe that's their 8th block today. Heels up 3, but Clemson with the basketball. Chase Hunter drives by Ryan. Can't finish. Rebound to R.J. Davis, but hold on. A late whistle. It's going to be a foul on the rebound on Baycott. That's his 3rd. Just the 5th on Carolina, so no free throws. But it will belong to Clemson with 4:30 to go. That is 8 blocks for Clemson. That was the right number. Tigers came in averaging just 5 a game, not a small number. But they have challenged a bunch of Tar Heel attempts at the 10. 58-55, Heels by 3. Tigers inbound it. They do to Shefflin. Baycott with 3 fouls, guarding him on the left wing. Hands it off to Chase Hunter now. Hunter
Around the screen, out to Shefflin, nearly traveled. Instead, he drives against Baycott. Gets deep, blocked by Baycott. Baycott will wait for traffic to clear and get it to R.J. Davis. Carolina by 3, Pete with the ball.
Important to get a good shot here.
58-55. Davis dribbling between the circles. Short bounce pass to Baycott. To backdoor to Davis for the layup. Not a good shot, a great shot for 2.
As Coach Davis says, good to great. That was a great pass and a great cut.
60-55, and Clemson is going to take a timeout with 3:52 to go. That will stretch to a full, with the Tar Heels now leading by 5, 60-55. What a pass by Baycott to the cutting Davis. Davis has 8 this half, 12 for the game. Baycott, the leading scorer for Carolina with 13. Ryan also has 10. We're going to take a break. Carolina 60, Clemson 55, 3:52 to go from Learfield.
We're on the road with Honda dealers of the Carolinas. If you're a Tar Heel fan, don't just cheer for the best, drive the best. Drive a Honda. Better hurry, they're going fast. See your Honda dealer of the Carolinas today.
60-55, Carolina, 3:52 to go. Harris Teeter is the official grocery store of the Tar Heels. Offers you everything you need for the perfect game day. Subs to pizza, snacks to drinks, they have you covered. Plus, they offer great ways to save every day with fuel points, eVic, and HT+. Visit harristeeter.com for more information. Couple of notes. Baycott has a double-double, 13 points, 12 rebounds. His 7th double-double this year, 75th of his career. Also, his 13 points today gives him 2,016 for his career, so he has passed both Charlie Scott and Al Wood today on the all-time scoring list for the Tar Heels. Next up on that list is Lenny Rosenbluth, who has 2,047 in his career. Of course, Tyler Hansbrough out of reach, I think, for the all-time scoring lead. He has 2,872 points in his fantastic Carolina career. So, Heels up 5, 60-55, 3:52 to go. Next dead ball will be another full timeout. Heels have 3 timeouts, Clemson 2. The fouls, there have been 5 whistled on Carolina, 8 on Clemson. And the possession arrow belongs to the Tigers in this one. It is the Tigers with the basketball. Gerard, overhead pass goes to Dylan Hunter. To P.J. Hall at the left elbow. Cormac Ryan dug down, knocked it away, but Hall recovered. Back out to Hunter. Dylan Hunter, tough step back against the challenge of Ryan is no good. Rebound to Bacon. That was great defense by Cormac Ryan.
That was a great possession for sure.
R.J. Davis front side, 3:23 to go. Heels up 5. Short bounce pass to Baycott. He'll now give it to Ingram. Thought about the straight on 3, didn't take it. Instead goes right wing to Trimble. Tried to pass it down low to Baycott, knocked out of bounds by Clemson. It will belong to the Tar Heels after this timeout. 3:11 to go now with 11 on the shot clock. Carolina is going to have the basketball and a 5-point lead. 60-55. Final full timeout of regulation. Heels up 5 in Littlejohn from Learfield. Three minutes, 11 seconds to play. 11 seconds on the shot clock for the Tar Heels. They lead it 60-55. Broadcast presented in part by Allen Tate Realtors. Whether you're buying, selling, relocating, or seeking financing or insurance, Allen Tate can help. Allen Tate Realtors, the #1 realtor in the Carolinas with more than 70 local offices and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. A couple of those particulars again. Timeouts, 3 for Carolina, 2 for Clemson. Fouls, 8 have been whistled on the Tigers, so the Heels are in the bonus. 5 fouls called on Carolina. Possession arrow belongs to the Tar Heels. Pete, what's important here over the final 3:11? Carolina leading by 5 with 11 seconds on the shot clock for this particular possession.
Well, we got to get something that we want, and I'm not sure what he drew up. I would like to get the ball down low, to get the ball to Baycott, make him either make a play or draw a double team. But down this stretch of 3 minutes, you can't afford bad shots. You got to make sure we're playing solid defense, but we got to get what we want on offense.
Heels will have Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, and Baycott as the 5 on the floor. 10 different Tar Heels have scored today. Baycott with 13 rebounds, 12 for Davis, 10 for Ryan. Chase Hunter, 17 points, leads Clemson. Shefflin has 16 and 11 rebounds. His 4th double-double this year.
10 points for Hall as well. Inbounds to Carolina. R.J. Davis has it in the center jump circle. Shot clock's down to 5. Davis driving on the right. Shot clock's down to 2. His follow-away is blocked by Chase Hunter into the hands of P.J. Hall. Carolina was just trying to let R.J. do some work, and he could not get free. Clemson the other way. 2:50 to go. On the left wing, Wiggins looking for Hall in the post. Gets it to him. Hall faces up against Baycott. Backing into the post. Hall lowers his shoulder, and he's fouled on the hook attempt by Baycott. That's 4 on Armando Baycott. Carolina's only been whistled for 6 fouls this half, but 4 of those 6 have been on Baycott. Hall also has 4 for Clemson. So both those veteran players with 4 fouls. Hall will have 2 shots. He is 2 for 2 today. He has 16 of his last 18 at the line and nearly 80% on the season. This is a 2-shot opportunity, even though it's just the 6th foul on Carolina due to the fact that Hall was in the act of shooting. 2:40 to go. Too strong on the first, off the back iron. It remains 60-55. Just the 3rd miss today in 15 tries for Clemson. Carolina is only 4 of 8 at the stripe. Hall ready to go on the second. Deep breath. That one's short. Ingram with the rebound.
That was great free throw defense right there.
Hall goes 0 for 2. Carolina still up 5 with the ball. Baycott, top right. Short bounce pass, top left to Ingram. Now goes right wing to Ryan. Back up top to Ingram. Thought about the 3. Instead he drives against Shiflin. Hangs in the air and banks it home. Strong take by Ingram. It's the largest lead of the game for Carolina. 62-55. 2:13 to go. Chase Hunter dribbling on the perimeter against R.J. Davis. Wraps around a screen. He's to the right of the lane. Baycott challenges the jumper. It's short. And Baycott gets the rebound on the baseline. Protects it and gets it to R.J. Davis. 2 minutes to go. 62-55. Davis comes front court on the right. He'll slow things down. I think Hubert Davis may want R.J. Davis to take a timeout, and he does. So with 1:52 to go, Carolina's going to take a timeout and gather its thoughts with a 62-55 lead. Clemson has not scored in more than 3 minutes. The Tar Heels only have 10 made field goals this half and only 5 2-point field goals this half. Carolina's 10 of 26 this half, but 5 of 11 from 3. 3 of 5 from the line. Clemson is 10 of 29 this half, 1 of 9 from 3, 1 of 17 for the game from 3, and 0 of 2 at the free throw line. Those 2 big misses from Hall a moment ago. So, Pete, 62-55. Carolina has played some quality defense here down the stretch, but really this whole game, Clemson shooting 34.5%, just the 1 of 17 from 3, and outside of the fact that Carolina was fouling too much in the first half, outside of that, and I understand that's a big caveat, it does feel like Carolina's defended pretty well.
They really have. Almost, if you look at the stats, you might think we're up more than we are based on the guys that are big players for them, and P.J. Hall and Girard, and their shooting. Other guys have stepped it up, but agree on that defense. We've been pretty solid. We had a couple stretches where we gave up some offensive rebounds, but again, overall, pretty solid. We got to finish up the game just like we had the last couple of possessions. One shot and get the ball and make sure what we want on the other side.
Yeah, Girard is just 1 of 10, and Hall is just 4 of 12. Hunter and Shiflin have picked up the pace, though. Those 2 Tigers are a combined 13 of 22 for 33 points. Baycott leading Carolina with 13 points, 6 of 11 from the field. R.J. Davis has just 12 points on 12 shots, but he did hit a big 3 a couple minutes ago. Cormac Ryan, 10 points as well for the Tar Heels. So it will be the same 5, Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Ingram, and Baycott for Carolina. Heels have 17 on the shot clock, 1:52 on the second half game clock, and a 62-55 lead. Trimble will be the inbounder to Davis. Couple of slow left-handed dribbles as now he sets up camp in the center jump circle. One-on-one with Chase Hunter. Gets a screen from Ingram to drift to the right. Hunter still guarding Davis. Hesitation. Forces one up and draws the foul. Foul on Chase Hunter, his second.
That's the 9th foul on Clemson, but it will allow Davis 2 shots as he was in the act of shooting when the whistle blew. 1:38 to go. These will be the first free throws for Davis since the Charleston Southern game. Did not attempt one against Pitt and has not tried one so far tonight. 62-55 Carolina with 1:38 to play. First one from Davis is good. Boy, it looked strong out of his hand, but was able to coax it in. Back iron, front iron, back iron, rattled around in there and went in. 63-55. Second one, much cleaner. 64-55. Heels up 9 with 1:36 to go. Chase Hunter front side. Hands off to Chauncey Wiggins to P.J. Hall. Guarded by Baycott. Baycott's got 4 fouls. Has to be careful. Hall can't finish on the layup. Rebound tipped around. Ends up to R.J. Davis and a foul on Clemson. That may be on Hall, and if it is, he's out. That is 5 fouls on Hall. He will leave with 10 points and 1:26 to go. The 3rd time this year he's fouled out. It also will give Baycott 2 shots, as that was the 10th foul on Clemson as a team. Brad Brownell taking the opportunity. He's leaving Hall out on the floor so he can bark at Ron Groover. Now he will send Dylan Hunter to go get Hall. 1:26 to play, 64-55. 2 free throws on the way for Baycott. Hall has had a terrific year. This was not his best game. 10 points, 5 rebounds on 4 of 13 shooting. Came in as the 2nd leading scorer in the ACC at better than 20 points per contest.
I think Armando's did a really good job on him staying in his pants all night. Oh, all day, excuse me.
First free throw for Baycott. Rattles out. Baycott just 1 of 3 at the stripe. Came in as an 80% shooter. Looking for a big one here to make it a 10-point game. 64-55 with 1:26 to go. That one looks much better, and it's in. 65-55. Carolina, largest advantage of the ball game. Clemson gets it to Girard. Baycott did a nice job switching off the ball so Girard couldn't pull the 3. There will be a 3 taken and missed by Clemson. Rebound tipped by Baycott into Ingram's hands. He'll send it to R.J. Davis. 1:10 to go. Davis getting front side. Strong Carolina contention here, getting on its feet. Davis with 1 minute to play, 15 on the shot clock. 65-55 Tar Heels. Davis gets a screen from Ingram to get to the right side. Shot clock to 6. Passes to Ingram. His straight on 3. Off the iron. Trimble with the rebound. Saves it off Girard. Carolina will have possession. Great effort by Trimble as he fired it off Girard out of bounds. 45.6 to go. Lamar Simpson takes this important moment to tell the Tar Heel bench to sit down as Davis will throw it in. Gets it to Baycott. He tips it right back to Davis. Of course, Clemson does not want to foul him, but they're going to bring a double team to him. Davis picks up his dribble, gets it to Cormac Ryan. Shot clock down to 8. Ryan back to Davis. Like a freight train down the lane. Floater pops out. Baycott tips it once, twice, then knocked out of his hands, out of bounds by Clemson. 28.2 to go. The shot clock will reset to 20. Baycott, 14 points and 16 rebounds. Clemson tried to fluster him, and he was up to the challenge. Inbounds goes to Ryan. Clemson is not fouling. I mean, they are allowing Carolina with this 10-point lead to dribble it out. They will have to shoot, they being the Heels, one more time. Cormac Ryan will drive into the paint where he's knocked down with no whistle, but don't think it's going to matter in the outcome of the game. Chase Hunter, he's not even going to try and score. As Carolina, with 1 second left, will hear the horn sound. And with a 10-point road win at Clemson, 65-55, the Tar Heels improved to 3-0 in the ACC.
for the first time since the 2015-16 campaign. That year, of course, ended with a national championship try in Houston. This season, though, Carolina feels good about where it is right now. 11-3 overall, 3-0 in conference play, back-to-back gutty wins on the road at Pitt, at Clemson. The Tigers, meanwhile, fall to 11-3. They are 1-2 in ACC action. Carolina closes the game on a 7-0 run. The Tigers do not score for the final 5 minutes, and the Heels win it 65-55. Coach postgame report coming up after this. We'll talk to Coach Davis, hopefully get an audience with a player, and a lot more. You'll hear Pete's thoughts on this one, too. Hopefully it doesn't involve anyone's pants. The Tar Heels win by 10 from Learfield.
Attention Tar Heel fans, if you've had any alcohol as a part of your game day activities, make sure you don't get behind the wheel. There are more ways than ever to get home safely. You can call a friend, a cab, take a bus, or app your ride, as the Tar Heels will head back to Chapel Hill happy. 65-55 winners on the road today versus the Clemson Tigers. Dave Nathan with you here. It is the Coca-Cola postgame report. We'll be hearing from Jones and Coach Davis momentarily in the Continental Tire Coaches Corner. Adam Lucas should also be discussing things with a select player. But former Tar Heel Pete Chilcutt with us right now from Littlejohn. And partner, 11-3, 3-0 in the ACC. That's what Carolina's record is through 14 games. And I just don't think you can overstate the importance of winning these games on the road and banking these W's this early on in the season.
You really can't. You know, we have a lot of fans out there have high expectations of every year for this team to do well. You got to look at the schedule and the streaks we go through on the road, at home, and every game individually is different. And these teams are competing out here. Both teams are really good, and to be able to come on the road 2 times in a row after not being on the road at all, and actually look better tonight than we looked against Pittsburgh, and doing things that it takes to win. It's just an impressive win. As you mentioned, you can't discount these are on the road. I mean, these are good wins at home, but now we have some stuff in the bank, as you say. We got a tough January, and this is a great way to start it.
Carolina again wins by 10, 65-55, with another road game coming up midweek in Raleigh against NC State. But Pete, there'll be time to enjoy this and to celebrate this for the Tar Heels. And, you know, the strange thing about this game, I don't think I was a lone wolf on this, expecting this to be a high-scoring game between two teams accustomed to playing in the 80s. Defensively, another really good output by Carolina, holding Clemson to 55 points, just 21 in the second half. And the Tigers shoot 36% for the game. We did the exhibition game together. It feels like all those weeks ago before we got into the regular season grind. From then to now, where do you see Carolina's greatest strides being? And I'll tell you what, we'll wait on that. Let's toss things back into the Carolina locker room where Jones is standing by with Coach Davis.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. Another terrific, gritty road win for the Tar Heels, 65-55 at Clemson. Tigers don't score for the final 5 minutes as the Tar Heels win this one. And, Coach, again, it's your defense that feels like the biggest storyline coming out of this one. The Tigers shoot just 36%, 1 of 18 from 3. What'd you feel like your team did well defensively?
We did 2 things. One, we defended. I mean, I felt like every one of their shots, their cuts, their posts was met with physicality. And in the second half, we played defense without fouling. In the first half, we did it. We put them on the free throw line 15 times, and that's really their number one way that they were able to score in the first half. In the second half, we didn't do that. We defended without foul, and that put us in great position to rebound and run. And then we also did a great job rebounding. Again, like Clemson's front line is real. I mean, they're good, they're physical, they're tall, and we out-rebounded them. That's back-to-back games that we've out-rebounded. It's actually 3 games in a row. And so we've always talked about, for us, defense and rebounding. In the last 3 games, we have checked those 2 boxes perfectly.
Seemed like Clemson was trying to frustrate Armando some in the post, and he was able to keep his cool well enough for 14 points and 16 rebounds this afternoon.
It was huge. Not only did he score, he gets us into the penalty. He creates open shots for us, and he gets their team into foul trouble. PJ fouled out because of Armando. He does so much for this team, and him being aggressive and feeling confident down low on the post made everything for us offensively down the stretch. And every time down, we threw the ball to him, and something good happened when he had the ball on the block.
Joe Girard's one of the better perimeter players in this league. Yeah. And he finishes 1 of 10 today. What do you feel like you guys did well against him?
Just the awareness, the effort and awareness to make him put the ball on the floor. He's a guy that can shoot, catch and shoot, or off the dribble. He's just a great shooter, great player. But whoever had him, whether it was RJ, Seth, Cormac, Pax, everyone was aware and bringing max effort to make every dribble, every shot for him hard. And he had a couple open threes that he just missed, but I thought it was our effort defensively that at times maybe wore him down.
I know you got a long way to go, but it just feels like your team is playing well. 11-3, 3-0 in the league for the first time since 2016. I would imagine you're pleased with where you guys are in the journey right now.
No, I'm pleased where we are in the journey, but you just said a journey. It's a long, long way to go, and I'm encouraged also because I think we can do a lot of things better. I think we can shoot the ball better, our pace better, defend better, rebound better, defend without fouling better, and so that's the encouragement that we're doing good things, but we can improve.
Carolina wins another tough road game, this time in Littlejohn. Coach, as always, thank you. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, talk to you soon.
So there's Jones with a pretty elated Coach Davis inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner after the Heels win by 10, 65-55. Another break here on the Coca-Cola Postgame Report, and we'll continue from our Tar Heel Sports Network studios in the Triangle as well as down at Littlejohn Coliseum. Carolina wins by 10 from Learfield.
This is Carolina basketball. Our post-game coverage continues with the Carolina Ford Dealers Wrap-Up Show. Ford F-150, what legends are made of. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. This is the Carolina Ford Dealers Wrap-Up Show.
For the second consecutive game, Carolina earns a really hard-earned road victory. This one was not easy today in Littlejohn, but Carolina closes the game on a 7-0 run. Clemson does not score for the final 5 minutes and 2 seconds. This is a one-possession game with 5 minutes left. And the Tar Heels eventually win it by 10, 65-55. Jones Angel here in Littlejohn. We're up at the mezzanine level here in Clemson, joined by Pete Chilcutt. Haven't told you, our whole team's been with you all day. You've heard from Dave Nathan, John Essick back in our studio. Of course, Adam Lucas has been here helping us out with statistical work. Ben Alexander, our chief network engineer. And this one felt good. This was a game in which Carolina did not play particularly well overall, I think, for the first half. Didn't play great offensively, really, in total. But as you heard Hubert Davis say a minute ago, Pete, it felt like the difference in this game was Carolina's ability to continue to defend but not foul. And the Tar Heels, according to Coach Davis, he said he felt like the team defended well the whole game, but the big difference was they were fouling too much in the first half, which was pretty clear to see, and they did a much better job in that regard in the second.
Yeah, very much so. And we talked about that at halftime, being able to come out in the second half and not double their free throws, and for the most part did really well in the second half. And we talked about it with Pittsburgh, and that is if we can get this team to establish an identity on defense where night in, night out, we're really competing hard and making it tough for teams to shoot 40% against us, that's going to make this team extremely dangerous. And I think we're definitely on the way there. We're not there yet. We got some guys who are still kind of learning how to play physically without fouling, but it was a great step today.
So Pete, the last 4 games for the Tar Heels, so that's Oklahoma, Charleston Southern, Pitt, and Clemson. Those 4 opponents are shooting 35% from the floor, 24% from 3, and averaging 60 points per game. I mean, so to that point about identifying or getting an identity defensively, plus Carolina, another big rebounding advantage, 44-33 today. You got to keep doing it, but you're starting to see signs of a little bit of consistency in those areas.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we would have banked on Clemson shooting that percentage from 3, hitting 1 today, but at the same time, I thought we contested their threes pretty much all day and made it tough for them to score, even on their twos. And when we can do that and then get the rebound and keep them off the boards, I mean, they're a pretty strong rebounding team as it is, and we did a really good job against them. So, again, as a strength, if we could develop that as part of our identity, it's going to be a tremendous advantage going down the stretch.
Yeah, Clemson came into this game second best three-point shooting team in the conference at 39%. Also, Clemson was the number 2 team in the league in rebound margin. The number 1 team was Pitt. So that means Carolina's played the number 1 and the number 2 as far as rankings as rebounding margin. Teams in the conference the last 2 games and have out-rebounded them by 21 total. Out-rebounded Pitt by 10, out-rebounds Clemson today by 11, 44-33. So good work there for Carolina. And all that great work on the glass, on the defensive end, our iTicket defensive highlight of the game. And there's not one play. It's just all that effort from Carolina. If you find yourself in need of legal defense for a traffic violation, iTicket.law can be hired to defend you 24 hours a day. It was born right in Chapel Hill with traffic attorneys statewide. Again, it is iTicket.law to learn more. Coca-Cola post-game report. Part of that is the Carolina Ford Dealers wrap-up show. Adam just came back with a recorded interview with Armando Bacot, so you'll hear that coming up in just a moment as well. And, I think Armando certainly earns the player of the game for this one. Pete, Old Dominion, best in the game, brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. It wasn't the prettiest game for Bacot, but, man, he just kept fighting. Ended up with 14 points, 16 rebounds, 2 blocks, 3 assists also, and just 1 turnover. He had that big pass on the backdoor to R.J. Davis for the layup. And, in fact, Bacot now has just 3 turnovers in the last 3 games. He had 9 in the 2 games before that. So he's handling some double teams better and making some better decisions.
Yeah, I thought he started out really as sort of just to start the game. And I'm a big fan of starting the offense through him, especially early on in each half or when we need a basket, just because he demands that attention. He's going to get double teamed. If not, if he can get him on the move, he's making pretty good decisions. That's just a good way to start the offense, and he's very effective at either scoring or kicking it out when he's taking his time and being assertive.
And again, congratulations to Armando. He moves all the way up to 4th all-time at Carolina, or excuse me, 5th all-time at Carolina in scoring. He's now at 2,017 career points. Next on that list, currently in 4th, is Lenny Rosenbluth, who had 2,047. So Bacot, our Old Dominion Freight Line, best in the game for this one. Couple of reminders. We've had several weeks off due to holidays and other things on Hubert Davis Live, but we are back on Monday night. We'll be live at Top of the Hill, 7 o'clock, Top of the Hill Restaurant in downtown Chapel Hill. Come join us. We're pretty consistent now the rest of the year. We will have a couple of shows that end up being on a Wednesday, a couple in the studio just due to travel and game schedule, but we, for the most part, will be there at Topo. Looking forward to that. We'll be there Monday night, 7 o'clock with Coach Davis. We'll talk about how well the Tar Heels are playing and preview that big matchup. Another road game, this time at NC State, coming up next week. Look forward to that. That game against State on Wednesday is at 8 o'clock. We'll be on the air at 7. Tyler Zettler will be the analyst for that one. Pete, your thoughts, if you have any final thoughts on this one after Carolina able to get out of here with a hard-earned 10-point win?
Just a little bit. I talked about it with Dave. This is a big stretch for us this whole January month. A lot of road games, a lot of tough challenges. To start out 2-0 is really impressive because we've been able to fight through some adversity and not shoot well in Pitt and then have some of the fouls build up on this one. So pretty impressive start to this January month. We got a lot more to go at home and especially on the road. So it's a promising outlook we could build from here.
So Carolina, mentioned this, now improves to 11-3 overall, but improves to 3-0 in conference play. It is just the first time, this is kind of hard to believe, since 2016 that Carolina has started an ACC season 3-0. So congratulations to them. But as we talked about with Coach Davis, still a long journey ahead of us with the Tar Heels as they move through the rest of this season. So we're going to take a break, come back. Dave will finish things up on the Coke postgame report and the Carolina Ford Dealers wrap-up show. I want to one more time say thank you to Clemson and Clemson basketball, Clemson athletics. Their SID, Ben Winterald, was the man spearheading it, had a lovely flower display and a ceremonial name tag for Eric when we arrived here today. Just a really kind gesture, and I think it reminds you
These are two schools that have known each other for a long time. They got a lot of history and a lot of respect for one another. So thank you, Clemson, for your classy gesture, and look forward to seeing the Tigers down the road here later in the season. All right, we're going to take a break, come back. Dave will finish things up here on the Coke Postgame Report and the Carolina Ford Dealers Wrap-Up Show. Another hard-earned win for the Heels, this time 65-55 over Clemson and Littlejohn from Learfield. Carolina registers the 10-point win this afternoon at Clemson. Final score, Tar Heels 65, Tigers 55. Coca-Cola Postgame Report continues with Adam Lucas's conversation with Armando Bacot.
Alongside Armando Bacot after a tough win at Littlejohn for the Tar Heels over Clemson. Armando, just describe the physicality down there in the paint this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I knew going into the game today it was going to be a tough game. P.J. Hall and Shefflin, they've been great all year, and I mean, what Coach Sully told us was something had to give today, so that was our approach, and we knew that we had to win the battle on the boards and beat a more physical team in order to win.
16 rebounds for you to go with your 14 points. How were you able to get so many loose balls in and around the rim?
I was just being myself, just trying to affect the game in so many different ways and just being aggressive. And I think today I really showed that, and I knew I wanted to affect the glass, especially on the offense, and get us more second chance points. And it worked out, and it worked out great.
It's not often that you get to go against another big guy like P.J. Hall who's willing to bang down low, and it's really a good one-on-one matchup. What'd you feel like you did well for Carolina today in that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, just not letting them get to his spots. And, I mean, I thought early on, too, I did a bad job of – I was so focused on him, I was kind of missing some of my other assignments. So in the second half, I just had to make sure I played team defense and just trust everybody, and I think it worked out. I mean, Cormac, Harrison did a good job of helping dig, and I did a good job of just not letting them get to his spots, and it worked out.
That team defense, it was a one-possession game with 5 minutes left. Clemson doesn't score the rest of the way. What was working defensively?
I mean, just focusing in on the game plan. Coach Sully was his scout, and he did a great job all week just prepping us on what we needed to do. And, I mean, in situations like that, I mean, we were ready. And, I mean, you saw we did the 3-minute drill in practice to end the game, last 3 minutes of the game. And, I mean, we ended up winning the white team, obviously. But I think just our focus in that definitely carried on to the game.
I think teams traditionally say, push Carolina around, see if you can make them mad and get them out of their game a little bit. It seemed like Clemson wanted to do that to you. Why did it not work?
I mean, my approach, I mean, all week in practice, I just made sure I was physical and just doing my work early. That's the main thing, just trying to do your work early and have them in a bad position. That's what I was trying to do.
2 really tough road wins against 2 really tough physical teams here this week. What have we learned about Carolina this week?
I mean, this is a position I haven't really been in since I've been here, and to win 2 big road games versus 2 great teams is huge, but I mean, we can't be satisfied. We know what's to come on Wednesday. It's a huge game. Playing state, they're going to be fired up, and we just got to come ready to play.
14 points and 16 rebounds. Armando Bacot dominant. Carolina beats Clemson. Mondo, thank you.
That'll wrap up our broadcast today. As always, produced by Tar Heel Sports Properties, a property of Learfield. Our general manager is Chuck Schrader. Network manager Phil Brame. Paul Roper is our network coordinator. Our thanks to Chief Network Engineer Ben Alexander, John Essick in the studio, and Jody Zoidner cranking out a few statistics from a secure and undisclosed location. For Jones Angel, Pete Chilcutt, Adam Lucas, and the rest of our crew, my name is Dave Nathan, reminding you that our next broadcast begins with the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. That'll come your way on Wednesday at 7 o'clock when the Tar Heels play at NC State. Once again, our final score, Carolina 65, Clemson 55. And you heard it all right here on the Tar Heel Sports Network.
Carolina basketball has been brought to you by Wells Fargo, official retail bank sponsor of Carolina Athletics. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Tar Heel Sports Network.